What's going on, guys? Thanks for watching. Keep calm and game on. We're back reacting to some news stories that are happening today. This is June 23rd, 2025. And yeah, we just chilling. I guess a lot's been going on today. I'm kind of out of the loop at the moment, but let me just make sure everything's up and running on my end real quick while we wait for everybody to kind of join the chat. Let me just test my audio real quick. Check. Check. Test. I think we are good on that. We're watching Fox News right now. Apparently, Trump announced Iran and Israel have agreed to some type of ceasefire. I've seen some conflicting reports. Yeah, I guess a ceasefire is going to be happening relatively soon. But yeah, so if you are watching, guys, feel free to drop some comments. I also know, I think Iran targeted a U.S. military base in Qatar, and I think they shot like 6 missiles. None of them hit anything. They all got intercepted. I think one just kind of hit the distance, and they didn't really even bother shooting it down because it was just way out of sight. I believe they also gave the U.S. heads up that they were attacking. And then I guess a few hours after that, Trump announced that there was a ceasefire going to be happening. So, yeah, so we're just going to kind of react to this. If you are watching this live, feel free to drop some comments, guys. Let me just make sure I got things going right. I think I got stuff going right here. Okay. I believe we're live. I think stream settings looks like we're good. Excellent connection. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to react to this real quick.
What happened with Iran in the Middle East and some breaking news coming just now. Joining us this evening, Vice President J.D. Vance. Mr. Vice President.
J.D.
Absolutely, thank you.
Just seconds ago, the President went to Truth Social and typed this. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire.
Ceasefire, boys.
Total ceasefire is what he typed.
Yep.
What does that mean? How did it come about? What's the development
Yeah.
here?
Well, we were actually working on that just as I left the White House to come over here. So that's good news that the president was able to get that across the finish line. I think what it means, Brett, is
Very
quite
good.
simple.
Very
First
good.
of all,
Fantastic.
the president, without, knock on wood, having a single American casualty, obliterated the Iranian nuclear program. We are now in a place where we weren't a week ago. A week ago, Iran was very close.
We're in a
to
much
having
better
a
place,
nuclear
guys.
weapon.
Much better
Now,
place. Am I the only one that
Iran
thinks
is
that?
incapable
Yes,
of
no,
building
maybe
a
so.
nuclear weapon with the equipment they have because we destroyed it. So that's a very, very big thing. Now, what that means, I think, is we have to talk to Iran and, of course, to Israel about what the future holds. Because while we have obliterated the Iranian nuclear program, our hope and
things
our
are obviously still
expectation
tense over there,
is they're
but
not going to try to rebuild that program.
maybe it's going in the right
That's
direction.
what the president is really trying to figure out here is to build a long-term settlement here to where we can have peace in the region, where our regional allies and, of course, the American people, most importantly, can be secured, but where we can ensure that the destruction of the Iranian nuclear program that has already happened is not something they try to rebuild.
I want to get to the obliterated part in just a minute, but I just want to read this fully so I get the context here. Congratulations to everyone. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now, when Israel and Iran have wound down and completed their in-progress final missions for 12 hours, at which point, the ceasefire for 12 hours, at which point the war will be considered ended. Officially, Iran will start the ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire.
So this is what Trump tweeted.
On the 24th hour, an official end to the 12-day war will be saluted by the world. During each ceasefire, the other side will remain peaceful and respectful on the assumption that everything works as it should, which it will. I would like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage, and intelligence to end what should be called the 12-day war. This is a war that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. God bless Israel. God bless Iran. God bless Iran. God bless the Middle East. God bless the United States of America. And God bless the world.
Donald
He
J.
seems
Trump.
confident that this is all coming together.
That's right.
And when you left the White House, were you thinking this was all gelling here?
When I left the White House, I thought that we might be able to get it across the finish line before this broadcast, and it looks like the president has been able to do that. I mean, look, he's been working the phones constantly. Frankly, before the 12-day war started, but certainly over the
Miss
past
Nightmare, how's it
12
going?
days, the president's been extremely clear about America's national objective here. It is to create a world where Iran cannot build a nuclear weapon. We, of course, destroyed the nuclear program that they had, and the president
that
told the
may have
entire
had something
team,
to do with the
"We're gonna
ceasefire.
work
I
to
don't know.
make sure that they don't try to rebuild that nuclear capability in the future."
But we're going in the
And
right
look,
direction,
this is a great
I
thing.
think.
For Israel, think about this. They've accomplished an important military objective.
Definitely
They've helped
a
us
good move, I
destroy
think.
the Iranian nuclear
I'm doing
program.
pretty good.
They've also destroyed the conventional missile capability of Iran that threatened the country of Israel. For the Iranians, I think this is a new opportunity to actually pursue the path of peace. As I said yesterday, what the Iranians have showed through their support of terror networks, through their now failed effort to build a nuclear weapon, is that they're just not very good at war. And I think the president really hit the reset button and said, look,
The
let's
reset
actually
button,
produce
guys, the
long-term
reset
peace for the
button.
region. That's always been his goal. I actually think when we look back, we will say the 12-day war was an important reset moment for the entire region.
Would you be surprised if Iran is sending out signals that it doesn't have a specific ceasefire plan? How would the communication have been with the Iranians to get this level of confidence to put out that detailed statement?
Well, one of the things I've learned, Brett, about the Iranians in the past, 4 or 5 months that I've been in this job is what they say publicly and privately can sometimes be very different. I think what the Iranians have shown very clearly is they don't want this war to go on for much longer. Their air defenses have been totally destroyed. Their conventional missile program
They don't got a lot left. Let's just say that, right?
Their nuclear program has been obliterated, as I said before. So
I think they
the
finally
Iranians are in a
realized
place
that
where
they've been
they
beat.
don't want to keep on fighting. You saw the
I think they knew that a
president, and I
while
don't
back,
have
but
the
they're
truth in
just
front
trying
of
to
me,
save
but he
face.
talked about the next 6 hours, finalizing the attacks. I mean, what I think what he's talking about is right now, for the American people watching, it's dark over there. That's typically when the Israelis and the Iranians have been shooting at each other. I think there's some recognition that that might continue for another few hours, and tomorrow really is a new day. The end of the 12-day war, the end of the Iranian nuclear program, and I really do believe the beginning of something very big for peace in the Middle East.
So you said totally obliterated. The president has said totally obliterated the Iran
Totally
nuclear program.
obliterated.
Do you know for sure where all the highly enriched uranium is?
Well, Brett, I think that's actually not the question before us. The question before us is, can Iran enrich the uranium to a weapons-grade level, and can they convert that fuel to a nuclear weapon? And we know, based on the success of our mission, of course—
If you're just popping in, guys, welcome to the stream. Apparently, there is some agreement with Iran and Israel about a ceasefire. As that's what Trump posted on X. Very long post right here. JD Vance was mid-interview with Brett Baer on Fox News when he got the alert on his phone, and Brett Baer got the same alert. So this kind of happened live on air during this interview. So we're kind of watching that and giving our thoughts about it. But yeah, very long post from Trump. I'm not going to read the whole thing. You guys can kind of see what he said there, but I feel like that's good, right? Now, will this actually happen? Will this actually last? A lot can happen between now and then, and nothing says like the ceasefire will end and they won't start fighting again. But, I feel like this is a step in the right direction, hopefully. Iran did shoot 6 missiles, or was it 5 missiles toward one of our bases in Qatar, but none of them hit, and they did give us a heads up. So that's something, I guess, right?
course, the leadership.
But yeah, if you are watching, feel free to drop some comments. Newport Red says, bro, the Jews started operating Rising Iron. Things go south, they run to Greece, then call Daddy America for help.
Now, you asked about the highly enriched
How you doing,
uranium.
Newport
like 9 more
Reds?
pounds of it.
But what we know, Brett, is that uranium is something that exists in very large supply. Our goal was to bury the uranium, and I do think the uranium is buried, but our goal was to eliminate the enrichment and eliminate their ability to convert that enriched fuel into a nuclear weapon. I think this is an important point, Brett, because so
Have you
many
been here
folks
before,
who are
Newport?
focused on the
If it's
highly
first time,
enriched
welcome, man.
uranium,
Sure,
the
60%.
main focus, Brett, has been to destroy their enrichment capacity.
We're just kind of catching up with what's been going on today in the news, just kind of reacting to it. Because I'm out of the loop a little bit. I know Iran shot some missiles at one of our bases. We intercepted all of them. Nobody was hurt. And then a little while after that, I heard that this post came out about the ceasefire. And there's been some conflicting reports about Iran has not received the ceasefire proposal. There were some reports about that. And then, Israel saying we didn't agree to a ceasefire. We agreed to stop shooting if they stop shooting type thing. But it's more or less a ceasefire. But hopefully it de-escalates things regardless of what term they want to actually put on it and agree to. I hope, the fighting stops. So we're kind of on Twitter looking at different things people have posted about it and are watching the recaps from different news outlets. But that's kind of what's going on at the moment. And yeah, definitely a crazy world, man.
Capacity, because we don't want that 60% uranium to become 90% uranium. That's the real concern, and that's what was so successful about our mission.
So after all this, if the Iranian government survives as is, what's to stop it from rebuilding over time if they in fact moved the 60% highly enriched uranium? That's the concern.
No, the big concern, Brett, and this is again what we destroyed, is their ability to enrich uranium. If they have 60% enriched uranium, but they don't have the ability to enrich it to 90%,
then they can't do anything with it, right?
The ability to convert that to a nuclear weapon, that is mission success. That is the obliteration of their nuclear
success,
program,
boys. Mission success.
Using that term, but here's the question. If Iran is desperate to build a nuclear weapon in the future, then they're going to have to deal with a very, very powerful American military again. Our hope is that the lesson...
It wouldn't be smart for them to do that.
Here is, look, we
can
fly a bunker buster bomb from Missouri to Iran completely undetected without landing once on the ground, and we can destroy whatever nuclear capacity you build up. I think that lesson is what's going to teach them not to rebuild their nuclear capacity.
Yesterday, were you speaking on the president's behalf when you said he was not interested in regime change?
Well, Brett, what I've said is the American military, that is not our mission as regime change. Our mission was to destroy the nuclear facilities and the nuclear program of Iran, which we, of course, did.
Which was a success.
Yeah. The Iranian people want to make a decision about regime change.
See, I think Trump kind of started floating the idea of regime change because their leader was not really coming to the table. But now, that's... They kind of attacked, tried to save face and say, oh, well, we hit America back. Now we're even type thing. I think he realized, like, hey, if he doesn't get on board, he's not going to be around for too much longer. And I think he realized, like, Trump isn't afraid to, like, totally get rid of him. So maybe that's why he's singing a different tune. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like hopefully things will start to de-escalate
between the Iranian people and the regime. Of course, we support freedom fighters all around the world, but our mission was to destroy the nuclear facilities, and that's what we did.
So you don't think there's any mixed message when he goes to Truth Social and says it's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? MIGA.
Well, I think what the president is saying very clearly, Brett, is if the Iranian people want to do something about their own leadership, that's up to the Iranian people. What the American national security interest here is very simple. It's to destroy the nuclear program. That's what we've done. And now that the 12-day war appears to be effective...
We had a mission. We went in. We completed the mission. We got out.
And Brett, this is not just about...
We didn't do any extra stuff. We said what we were going to do. We got out.
Gulf Arab states, they want peace.
We could have done a lot worse.
They want to build artificial intelligence hardware. They want to sort of come into the new economy. And that was impossible when you had Iran that was, as the president said, acting like a bully across the Middle East. We really think that if the Iranians are smart about the path forward, this could be a new dawn of an economic age of prosperity, of course, for our Gulf Arab allies, for us, for the Israelis, for everybody. But it's going to require the Iranians play it smart from here.
The president called it very weak, the Iran missile firing on the U.S. base in Qatar, Al Udeid. Was it a face-saving?
If you're just joining us, guys, welcome. We're catching up on what's been going on in the news today. If you got any comments, feel free to post them. I'm reading as many as I can.
Well, as the president said,
but yeah, welcome to the stream, guys.
And we think they gave us some warning because they didn't want to kill Americans and they didn't want to escalate. There's definitely some symbolism to this, Brett. If you look at the Iranian attack, it was 14 missiles that they telegraphed ahead of time. We dropped 14 bunker buster bombs. As the president told me earlier, our missiles, our bombs were a little bit bigger than their bombs. Our bombs actually accomplished the goal of eliminating their nuclear program. But look, we're happy, again, to restart the peace process as the president just did today.
Was the message delivered directly to the U.S. or through an emissary?
The message is always delivered through some sort of intermediary. That's been consistently true of the Iranians. Of course, we'd love to talk to them. The president's been clear about this. We'd love to have a direct conversation.
Get on the phone. Let's chat.
Move this thing forward. Because
let's chat,
again,
guys.
You got to step back here.
Let's solve this problem. Let's stop the fighting. All right. Let's just chat.
So that we could destroy their nuclear program. If they try to rebuild it, they're going to be on the wrong end of American power once again. We don't want that. I think they don't want that, but the ball's in their hands.
You've been reluctant or at least cautious about getting engaged previously, and that has been public. What made you sign on to this action this time?
Well, I think the president has been very clear, and I've always agreed with the president, that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. And you try to run the diplomatic process as much as you possibly can. When the president decided that wasn't going to work, he took the action that he had to take. Now we're in a new phase. That action was successful. We had a wildly successful military operation to take out their nuclear program. Now let's go on to the next phase. And I think the president, look, sometimes he's willing to use peace. Sometimes he's willing to use the military. I think it really depends.
He ain't afraid to do it, though. I think he showed the world that he is not afraid to pull the trigger when it comes to, you know, not letting people have nukes. Let's check X real quick. Let's see if there's any breaking news happening on X. Let me just refresh this real quick. We're at the top story for news. Let's see here. That was Trump's post there. Some random memes popping up. Obama's military strikes. Cryptic. Okay. That's all the stuff Obama did. Total of 26,000 bombs dropped when Obama was in office. JB, how you doing, JB?
Brett, I don't want to predict what the other side will do, but I think that
you guys are popping in. Drop those comments. Trying to read as many as I can.
Weapon, and I hope they don't choose that path, because I know the president wants to see the Middle East become peaceful and prosperous in the future. That's not going to happen if Iran pursues a nuclear weapon again.
And for the people, so we talked about the people who believe that this is going towards World War III, especially in your own party. There's a section that's very vocal. There's another section that says you should take out this regime because it's...
I think Iran finally realized, like, hey, we're beat. We're just going to keep getting beat. How much do we want to get beat? Or do we want to just, like, agree to a ceasefire, kind of save face? I think that's what's happening. I think it's a good thing. Will they try to get nuclear weapons again in the future? Probably. If they're smart, they won't try it, because obviously if they sink tons more money into, like, rebuilding these bunkers and restarting things, we can just easily go in there and do what we just did. Maybe it won't be as easy the second time. Maybe there will be more pushback, but, like, if they know we can just do this in the dead of night without detection, like, if you were them, would you try to put more money and resources into rebuilding when you know that the U.S. can just come in there and take it away? I wouldn't do that. Christian, how you doing, man? We're just kind of catching up on different news stories that have happened today. We're watching the interview with Bret Baier and JD Vance. During the beginning of this interview, Bret Baier got a notification on his phone saying saw what Trump posted, and then JD Vance got the same notification. So they're kind of talking about it mid-interview. But I'm doing good, Christian.
Has done horrible things for decades. How do you square those two sides? And can this regime stay in place and still have a peaceful, reaction relationship with the U.S.?
Well, I think the president has squared those two sides quite well. One, because he's
and this is from Fox News. I'll post the link in the chat if you guys want to check out the interview without my commentary over the top.
They trust the president to do a good job. But importantly, Brett, I think he's threaded the needle quite well here. We had a very particular objective. It was profound and difficult to accomplish. The elimination of the Iranian nuclear program. And I think the president...
Steve says, I thought Iran said no to a ceasefire. I've heard some conflicting reports about it. Because this is what Trump posted. He posted this big, long thing about they agreed to a ceasefire. And then I heard some other news. This one's from Tim Pool. He says, Iran has not received any ceasefire proposal, senior officials say. So there's been some conflicting reports. And then I think somebody from Israel came out and said, it's not a ceasefire, but if they stop shooting we'll stop shooting type thing, and then we'll start negotiating. But Trump's calling it a ceasefire. So I don't know if they've like agreed on a term for what this is, but it's more or less a ceasefire, and we'll just have to see if both sides stop shooting. But it seems to be like things are de-escalating somewhat. We're kind of just trying to keep up with what's been happening, looking on X and all that stuff. But actually, can we go to Donald Trump's account? Is this his account? This is Daily Posts. Let me see if I can go to Trump Daily News. You'd think they would have something here. Nothing about the ceasefire yet, but let me hit the explore button. Trump declares Israel ceasefire amid ongoing tensions. More about that. Complete and total ceasefire. Congratulations. That was 3 hours ago. So yeah, we're just kind of tuning into different news stories.
Successfully did that. You're asking,
and Great Swallow 69. Give it to me. How you doing, man?
Brett, they were very close to a nuclear weapon.
Welcome to the stream.
What I encourage my fellow Americans to think about here is that a week ago, the Iranians were quite close to achieving a nuclear weapon. Now they cannot build a nuclear weapon. That is the biggest.
Yeah, Steve, I heard about that, but that was like earlier.
And to the success of our mission in 1 week.
I think that probably changed.
Thank God, so far, not losing a single American casualty. We have taken what was a threatening nuclear program that could have destabilized the entire world. Now that program is gone. We did it through effective presidential leadership and also some very, very competent work from our troops.
How often does it happen where you're going to do an interview and you get a Truth Social seconds before?
Also, guys, I asked the question in the chat, will Iran and Israel ceasefire last? You can vote yes or no on that. 15 people have voted so far. 80% of you say no, and 20% of you say yes. Lee says, saw the Target video on Damana. Supposedly the Israel nuclear site. Now they are changing tune. Iran is meeting today, and they're agreed to close the Strait of Hormuz.
You have some sense of it, but it's
how you doing, Lee?
Detailed, where you are being asked about something the president has just put out.
In this administration, Brett, it happens quite a bit, actually, but we knew this was coming. The draft, it was interesting. I just read the draft about 2 minutes before we went on the air. It was a little bit different from what the president had showed me a couple of hours ago. But again, I knew that he was working the phones as I was on the way over here. So I knew exactly what we were going to do. And look, I love that about this presidency and this administration is he's always working. He doesn't say, you know, the vice president's going to do an interview, so I'm going to stop doing anything. He says, you know, we're going to do the American people's business. The vice president knows what I'm trying to accomplish. And if I get it done, great, because we're going to talk about it and celebrate it, because it is a thing to celebrate. I can't emphasize this enough, Brett. We have destroyed the Iranian nuclear program. Zero Americans.
They don't got nukes. Well, at least they might have uranium still or whatever, but they don't have the ability to create nukes, at least not until they rebuild, which would take a pretty long time.
Thank you for the time.
Thanks, Brett. Good to see you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
How you doing, Sean Hannity? How you doing? Okay, let's see what else Fox News is popping out here. Let me go to videos. Iranians had no idea what was coming. Calls to impeach. Breaks down real problem. Details revealed behind Israel ceasefire. This was 2 hours ago. Let me see. Let's watch this one.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Ingram Angle. I'm Laura Ingram, my angle in moments. But first, tonight, we begin with major breaking news. It's a development that few thought was possible even a few days ago. But with President Trump in charge, we've seen time and time again, the so-called experts are proven wrong.
They don't need to make nukes. Russia said they would give them.
Israel and Iran
them nukes.
have agreed to a full ceasefire taking effect in just a few hours. In a Truth Social post in the last hour, the president wrote, "Congratulations to everyone. There will be a complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now when Israel and Iran would have wound down and completed their in-progress final missions for 12 hours, at which point the war will be considered ended." On that assumption that everything works out as it should, which it will, I would like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage, and intelligence to end what should be called the 12-day war. This is a war that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. Here we
let's see here. Notifications, bookmarks, live on X, what's happening. Let's see. Trump declares ceasefire. Commander-in-Chief. Amid ongoing tensions. This is kind of what's popping up for that latest. More about the ceasefire. A lot of reposts about what Trump said. Complete and total ceasefire. Breaking Iranian officials have confirmed Iran agreed to the ceasefire proposed by President Trump per Reuters. So they said it was official. That was posted 2 hours ago. I also heard there's like a bomb threat outside the White House, but I feel like those happen probably pretty frequently. But I don't know if that reporting was accurate or if anything came from that. Congratulations to the world. It's time for peace. Trump posted that at 4:02 p.m. today. Israel and Iran agreed to full ceasefire starting in 6 hours. I guess, according to what Trump said, they're going to finish up, both sides are going to finish up current missions that were planned, and then the ceasefire will start. It says 6 hours from now, then complete total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now when Israel and Iran have wound down and completed their latest missions in progress for 12 hours, at which point the war will be considered ended. Very interesting, guys. I mean, that's good, right? Going in the right direction, unless Iran is just lying. Or Israel's lying, but I feel like, you know, it's costing both sides quite a bit of money and resources, and I think Iran realizes they've been beat, and they need to kind of regroup and figure out what they want to do, because they know full well that Trump is not opposed to a regime change and, you know, putting in a different leader. And I think the leader of Iran finally realized, like, hey, he's not messing around. Like, he's floated this idea. He said that wasn't the objective. It was just to take out the nuclear facilities. But then he started, floating the idea of, like, hey, well, if you guys are going to keep threatening the U.S., maybe you need new leadership. And he kind of reiterated that in a couple different posts. So I think he's realized, the leader of Iran has realized that if we don't play ball, I'm probably not going to be around for too much longer. So maybe that kind of changed his reasoning and helped him agree to the ceasefire. I am Groot. Welcome back. I am Groot. Trump 2028. John says, yeah, because that has worked before. I mean, I don't know if the ceasefire lasts, but it's going in the right direction, right? Dark Chester says Iran is going to attack first. I mean, it could just be a ploy. It could be like, yeah, we're gonna wind things down, and maybe they're just going to try to regroup and then attack the U.S. in a different way. It could be one big scam, but hopefully that's not the case, because I feel like if they say they're going to do a ceasefire and then they renege on that, Trump's not going to be happy, and there's going to be big consequences. Because they did attack a base in Qatar, but all those missiles were intercepted, and Iran did give the base a heads up and told them to evacuate before it happened. I think that was just a way for them to save face, and Trump is not retaliating. So Iran is going to attack first. Dean says, traitor and liar Trump, no one worried about Taco. What are you talking about, Dean? We got to see what the Iranian people do. Their government is in, yeah. I know the Crown Prince says he wants to, help with regime change, because the current leader, he doesn't think is going to actually back away from trying to get nuclear weapons. But maybe he's had a change of heart. I don't know. Thought he only wanted unconditional surrender. If you guys are still watching, post those comments in the comment section. Trying to read as many as I can. Let's see if we can find, we'll just keep watching this one, I guess.
With me now is Brett Baer, chief political anchor and special report anchor, executive editor there as well. Brett, you were on the air. We were all watching with Vice President Vance when Trump's Truth Social post landed. So that was in and of itself kind of hilarious. But do we have details about how this all came together in the last hour?
Well, Laura, good evening. It really was something. Let me just give you the behind the scenes. Trey Yingst was in the middle of wrapping up his report from Tel Aviv, and the producer got in my ear saying, Trump Truth Social coming in the email right now. And I looked down, the vice president's right here on set with me. And as I look down to read it, his staff comes in with an iPhone so he can read the Truth Social as it's coming in. And Trey Yingst wraps up his live report. I thank him. I introduce the vice president and obviously start with.
Also, guys, if you're a new subscriber, thank you for joining the community. We got like, I think 200 subscribers last night. We are well on our way to 7,000 subscribers. So if you are a subscriber, guys, thank you so much for joining the community and hitting that subscribe button. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. That will help us kind of get higher up in the YouTube algorithm. We had, I think, like 32,000 views last night. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, shout out if you're a new subscriber. Appreciate it.
What we just heard and saw. And he said he had heard about it, talked about it.
Unconditional surrender of the nuclear program.
That's what he was reacting to. Since then, we've learned that Qatar was the intermediary and that Iran officials are now saying they did, in fact, authorize Qatar to negotiate on their behalf, at least according to Reuters and other wire services, and that the Israelis are going to agree to this in a 6-hour time frame. Now, what happens between now and the 6 hours? I expect a lot of kinetic action inside Iran from the Israelis, but that's what it looks like. And then the details that the president laid out about
hopefully
how
it actually happens.
The next 24, 48 hours. We don't know what that picture looks like or whether it leads to negotiation.
Many Iranians want democracy. It's their destiny. They got to figure it out.
The supreme leader put out a statement saying, we will not submit. We will never submit.
Middleman, how you doing?
So something was changing in that interim time period, and I guess he was made an offer he couldn't refuse.
Maybe because I think that, yeah, the leader, like you said, came out and said, we will not surrender, blah, 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 blah. And now he's like, well, we're going to do a ceasefire. Maybe Trump sent him a picture of like the bunker he was in. He's like, maybe you want to change that, that statement, man, because there's a target right over the bunker where you're sitting at. Maybe that was a conversation that was had behind closed doors. Who knows? But apparently they agreed to it. So something happened.
Maybe
will we ever know what that is?
We don't know.
Probably not.
The Supreme Leader is supposed to be holed up in a bunker. That the going thing in Iran, we're told, is that everyone doesn't know where he is except the Israelis and the U.S. And they have said that they could take him out at any time. I don't know what has transpired that changed.
Yeah, we'll see how long this ceasefire lasts. Hopefully longer,
the tea leaves here. They gave
as opposed to shorter.
Warning about the missile strike on Qatar and El Udeid Air Base.
That bunker is 600 feet deep.
Get your people out of there. And then the air defenses took down those missiles, including one from Qatar. And, you know, I think that the president's very weak response post and let's get to peace started phone calls between all of the parties, according to the vice president. And in between the time he left the White House and the time he arrived on this set, something had transpired to get that Truth Social post.
And the president even thanked Iran for the heads up, as you noted with Vance, which it all seemed like it was missile theater at some point. They gave them a chance to save face, shoot up a couple of, you know, what looked like Roman candles. I mean, they were missiles, but and no damage was done as far as we understand.
The one their leader is hiding in, yeah.
So you wonder why they even went through that exercise, but nevertheless, the president didn't choose to humiliate Iran in this moment, which I think that's classic Trump. He wants to give people a way out.
He did say, "Let's get to peace. Let's get to the table." He called it very weak, and
he couldn't help himself. He's like, "That was a weak counterattack, guys. That was weak."
The Iranians did the same thing. They fired
that was weak. But let's have peace.
Base in Iraq, but they also gave a heads up ahead of time. That was after the Soleimani assassination, the takedown.
So real quick, guys, I asked in the chat, will Iran and Israel will the ceasefire last? You guys can vote in the chat. 38 votes so far. 36% say yes, and 62% say no. So if you think this ceasefire between Iran and Israel is going to actually last, let me know in the chat, yes or no. 40 votes so far, 38, and 62 being no. So go ahead and vote on that, and drop some comments down below. I'm trying to read as many as I can. So feel free to drop those comments, and I'll try to read them if I see one that is worth reading.
Of of the main military commander for Iran by the U.S. And so it follows a pattern. We'll see if this also follows a ceasefire, because as you know, the Israelis feel like they have a lot of superiority in the skies and they can take out targets at will. And they're on the cusp of making a big change to their existential threat. So it may be tough for them to agree to it, but I think the president is pushing.
And Brett, although people don't want to be political in this moment, politics always enters the equation. We had an enormous amount of kind of nastiness on across the political aisle over the last few days regarding the president's decision. So some Democrats were more, tepid about it, but others were basically very, very negative on what the president was doing. How do you see
it won't
this
last forever, but it will last for a few
politically?
years, do you think?
I mean, John Fetterman was the only Democrat I saw very vocal.
Maybe it
in his
lasts
support of
until
the action.
Trump's out of office, and then
Others
they
were
just
either
start
tepid
spinning
or
it
saying
back
was
up again.
unconstitutional, and he had to come to Congress first. I think a lot of those Democrats, if you look back at President Obama's actions,
If a Democrat
in
gets
Lebanon,
elected next election,
in
they'll probably
Syria,
spin it back up. They're
they
like,
were
yeah,
not
we're bringing back
anywhere
nukes.
near as vocal about the congressional authorization
Maybe I'm wrong.
issue back then.
But if J.D. Vance runs and gets
Politically, I think it
elected,
plays
probably
pretty
not.
Well, he's kept his party largely
They'll probably keep the
together.
nukes
There are
away.
some vocal voices, as you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene and others, Tom Massey, but fairly small in number and in voice. And I think it really depends how this ceasefire works out and what comes next.
Brett, thank you very much. That was an unbelievable interview.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe.
Yeah, it'll probably last. It probably is going to depend on, who gets in power next. But, if they agree to this ceasefire and like we slowly maybe start taking sanctions off of them and helping them rebuild, as far as like their economy goes and stuff, maybe not, directly, but indirectly with opening up, trade and whatnot. And things start to, get better in Iraq, maybe they won't want to, build nukes as much because they'll be like, yo, the U.S. actually, we can work with them. And if we work with them as opposed to trying to wipe them off the face of the earth, then maybe things would be better for us. So maybe it'll depend on how these next few years go, I guess. Tom, how you doing, man? It's not just about Trump. Iran doesn't want war with the U.S. They know they can't win. Yeah. John Fletcher says, it baffles me to think that someone would want peace while you're bombing them. It's just plain bully tactics. Well, we didn't bomb their city, right? We didn't take out any of their military. We didn't take out any of their civilians. We simply took out what we said we were going to take out, was the nuclear complexes, 3 of them. We did that and we got out and we didn't attack any more than that. And even when they shot missiles at our base, Trump just let it go and he said, we're not going to attack. Let's have peace. So, yeah, if we wanted to just overthrow them, we could have done it pretty easy. Iran lost probably 80% of their launchers, depleted their middle. Yeah, exactly. Yep. They know they've been beat. Let's see. Let's go to CNN. See what CNN has been saying. Matthew says Obama was the reason that all these nuclear facilities started in the first place. Okay, so let's see. What is CNN popping up? Trump ceasefire fully agreed to between Israel and Iran. Trump thanks Iran in advance for notice for missiles being attacked. Yeah, these were the missiles. I think they're going to show footage of it.
President Trump has just weighed in on Iran's attempt at retaliation for U.S. strikes on its nuclear facilities this past weekend. Trump, writing on Truth Social, quote, Iran has officially responded to our obliteration of their nuclear facilities with a very weak response. They've gotten it all out of their system, and there will hopefully be no further hate. I want to thank Iran for giving us early notice, which made it possible for no lives to be lost and nobody to be injured. Perhaps Iran can now proceed to peace and harmony in the region, and I will enthusiastically encourage Israel to do the same. Now, here's a look at Iran's response that Trump is now referring to as weak. Iran earlier today launching short and medium-range ballistic missiles toward a heavily fortified U.S. base in Qatar. U.S. officials say there are no reports of injuries or casualties among American troops.
I am
or
Groot.
Qatari
I don't know.
citizens. Now, this could be in part because of what President Trump pointed out in his post. Iran actually gave Qatar advance notice before the strikes.
He probably would have given him
Source
one
tells
more
CNN
chance.
This was intended to minimize casualties and preserve an off-ramp for the conflict. While Iran's thwarted attack today may have been on the lighter end of their retaliatory options, a new bulletin from the Department of Homeland Security warns Iran could try to target U.S. government officials if Iranian leaders believe the, quote, stability or survivability of their regime is at risk. This all follows new Israeli strikes on Iran today aimed at the notorious Evin prison in Tehran, known for housing political prisoners and Iran's military headquarters. CNN has this covered from every single angle. Fred Pleitgen in Iran, Aaron Burnett in the United Arab Emirates, Jeremy Diamond in Tel Aviv, Israel, and Jeff Zeleny at the White House in Washington.
They're all over the
DC.
place.
We want to start things off with CNN's Fred Pleitgen, who is in Tehran, Iran. Fred, what are you seeing on the ground there today, and what are you hearing from Iranian officials about what may come next?
This video, guys, is from CNN. I will post it in the chat if you want to watch it without my commentary. There you go. And if you're just popping in, guys, welcome to the stream. We're getting caught up with what's been going on today. If you got any comments, feel free to post them down below. I'm reading as many comments as I can. And this is footage from when Iran attacked the Qatar base. Kind of breaking up a little bit there.
Towards their facilities by the United States, obviously indicating that this could very well have been a tit-for-tat response by the Iranians. The Iranians are calling this a decisive response, a robust response, and they also say that it was successful. The Iranian state media, Phil, is saying that 6 of the missiles came through and hit their target. Obviously impossible for us to independently verify that.
So yeah, I don't know if like Iran currently has internet. Like, I don't know if their supreme leader allows its people to have internet or if they've like shut it down completely and they kind of censor everything. But, you know, so from the Iranian people's point of view, their government shot missiles in response to us dropping bombs. So they shot missiles toward a base, and then the media over there is saying they hit the base, destroyed it, wiped it out. Now we're even type thing. So that's what they're saying. Supposedly, those have been some reports. So, you know, if the Iranians are probably like, well, we got him back, you know, and now let's talk peace. So who knows? Who knows what their government's actually telling their people? I'm not over there. I got no idea. Brian Griffin, how you doing, man? Shout out to Brian Griffin. Thank you, man, for hitting the join button, becoming a channel member. Thank you again, man. Appreciate it. She-Hulk. I mean, Hulk Smash says those missiles never hit. Yeah, they didn't hit. Didn't hit. It's just kind of propaganda if that's actually what their news networks are saying. But if that's the lie they have to tell their people, to kind of save face and be like, well, they dropped bombs on us, but we shot 5 missiles and they took out the base and you know, just wiped it off the map, you know, but now we're going to talk peace because we're going to take the high road type thing. If that's what they got to tell their people, you know, just to save face and make it seem like they're not so weak, but peace happens, you know, that's fine. But yeah, those are some reports saying that that's what their local media have been telling, you know, have been playing over the news, but I don't know if that's, you know, I don't know if that's right or not.
Marvin, there were actually celebrations in the streets.
How you doing, Roto Rudy?
Following that attack by the Iranians. And as far as today is concerned, we did see a lot of anti-aircraft fire coming here.
Latinos for Trump. Hashtag MAGA. How you doing, Elias? Welcome back, man.
Of course, preceding that were those Israeli airstrikes that you were talking about. Some of those airstrikes actually very close to our location. Earlier today, we heard.
Also, guys, vote on that poll we got in the chat. I asked the question, will Iran-Israel ceasefire last? 34% say yes and 66% say no. That's out of 61 votes. So if you want to get your voice heard, vote on that poll we got in the chat. Just kind of curious what you guys think of this ceasefire that's supposedly supposed to happen very soon, if it will actually last. Let me know.
One of the few Western journalists in Tehran having some issues there with his sound. We are going to keep in touch with him throughout the course of the show. Fred, thank you. Stay safe. I want to turn now to CNN anchor Aaron Burnett, who is also in the region. She's in the United Arab Emirates.
Matthew says, I knew that fishy story was going to come because I knew that they weren't just going to admit defeat like that. Yeah. So, I mean, if they're censoring basically everything in Iran and all their people are seeing is like, well, we saw 5, 7 missiles, however many, if we saw those leave our place and go toward a base, and then their government saying, we hit the base, we took it out, now we're even. Let's talk about peace. Let's be the bigger people. Let's, if that's what they're telling their people, then, if they got to lie to them to make it seem like their leader's not weak and they're actually not losing, but we're just going to chill out because, we're going to take the high road. If that's what they got to tell them, whatever. The fact of the matter is, if Israel stops fighting, if Iran stops fighting, and we actually have some peace, that's a good thing because it might, help things de-escalate, and then we can actually talk about what's going to happen next. It's kind of hard to talk about what's going to happen next when both sides are like shooting missiles at each other. So, I mean, if that's what they got to do, it's what they got to do. But, Trump said it was a pretty weak attack, but he wants peace. So, yeah, we'll see. How you doing, Patrick?
In the Middle East, Aaron, Iran's attack today.
If Iran screws up now, it's all over Iran. Yeah.
More on edge, it seems.
Yeah, more on edge, and of course, there's so much concern. I mean, if you
Richard says Iran has not officially confirmed the agreement. The Qatar Prime Minister is reported to have secured Iran's agreement after a call with the Iran leadership, according to officials in negotiations. I heard on X that it was official. Because I heard a similar thing that you're saying. I think even Israel came out and said, it's not a ceasefire, but if they stop shooting, we'll stop shooting. So whatever they want to classify it as, whether they want to label it as a ceasefire or whatever. I mean, Trump's calling it a ceasefire. But if they just stop, shooting at each other and the fighting stops, I don't care what they call it, as long as the fighting stops. They can call it a break, an extended break. A vacation from fighting. I don't care what they call it. But yeah, I heard similar reports, man. But I also saw reports that Iran did say they agreed to it. I don't know if I could find that now. Let's see here. I'm trying to kind of look on X. Trump declares ceasefire. Let me see the top stories here. I don't usually use the X on the web browser. I use it on my phone. Let me go to news. Trending. WWE is trending. Let me go back to the news. Operation Midnight Hammer. Let's see. Bunch of memes. People chatting. I guess this is what the Pentagon released this footage of the B-2 stealth bomber. This is what it looked like. This is what it looked like when it left the hangars, I guess, on its way to Iran. Middle of the night. Got that night vision. It wasn't just one, obviously. I think there were like 7. And then half of them went one direction, half of them went the other direction. You see that coming? Man, you're screwed. You see that heading toward you, you're already toast. You're already toast. And look, volume's all the way up. You can't even hear those things. Like silent. Very stealthy. They don't call them stealth bombers for nothing. G-Dog, how's it going, man? Yeah, I guess the Pentagon released this footage. Those are some big aircraft. I think it was like 36 hours round trip or something. Salem, how you doing, man? Or is it Salim? Mohammed? Took it from the different places, Guam and Missouri. Yeah. Very big aircraft. I believe there's 2 pilot seats with room for an additional 3rd pilot. So I don't know if they like took turns flying. Because it was a very long trip, like an 18-hour flight. And it was, I think, 36 hours round trip or something. So definitely a big airplane there. A big ship. Definitely a big ship there. Let me go back to what they're saying on CNN.
The airbase here in the United Arab Emirates, and obviously the massive naval presence.
It has beds and bathrooms on it.
As well as in Bahrain, where the 5th Fleet is. And
they're actually really loud. What makes them stealthy is the air cooler that tracks the radar.
30,000 troops just here in the Gulf.
Yeah, so it's like the shape of them and everything that keeps them
alert tonight.
pretty much
Phil,
invisible to radar.
concerned
Yeah.
about what could happen. There had been a shelter-in-place order that had been issued by the U.S. Embassy in Qatar for American citizens when those missiles started coming in, short and long ranges. Fred was just describing from Iran. You saw a panic even at a mall. And a region very much on edge. Also concerned that the threat to Americans, while most specific on U.S. bases and military installations here in the Gulf and across the Middle East, also extends to Americans, whether that be in the form of terror attacks or lone wolf attacks or some sort of,
Pretty good, man.
attacks.
Pretty good.
Those are the real concerns and questions among.
Also, guys, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button. Help us get this live stream to the top like we've been going recently. Last night's live stream got 32,000 views. It's pretty crazy. I think we had 500 people watching all at once at one point. I doubt Iran is going to the ceasefire is going to last. I mean, we can just only hope for the best. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best, right? Matthew says, it lasts a lot longer than Biden-Harris ceasefire. If they had one, that's for sure. Probably would be World War III by now, just trying to clean up their mess. Yeah. Richard says, according to Sharia law, Iran must retaliate, but they're not going to broadcast when that's going to occur. Well, I mean, they did retaliate, right? They shot rockets toward the base in Qatar. They gave the U.S. a heads up before they launched the rockets. So I don't know if they're gonna count that as a retaliation or if they have something bigger planned down the road. Or maybe they just say, we're going to play nice for a while and then they start plotting something behind the scenes, some like 9/11 type thing. Who's to say? I don't know. I don't know if they have like some giant comeback, some giant, attack planned. But I feel like they've realized like they lost this one and they need to kind of regroup. So whether the peace lasts or not, we'll have to see. But I think they realize like, if they don't start playing ball, Trump's not opposed to like completely changing things over there as far as the leadership goes. So I think they finally realized that it's like, hey, play ball or we're going to take your ball and we're going to blow up the ball and you're not going to be able to play ball ever again. Matthew says that was a long flight, especially if you're going probably 1,000 miles an hour. Yeah. Yeah, that is a long flight. You're going that fast and it still takes you like 18 hours to get there. Yeah, I'm sure they would probably be pretty tired. Plus you have like all that adrenaline and, you don't want to screw this up. And they had to be refueled, right? So it's not like they just hit the autopilot and went to sleep and just cruised that whole time. They had to be refueled multiple times. And there were like 150 fighters involved too. And refueling aircraft and everything. And precision strike. So I think, Trump kind of showed the world like, hey, don't mess with the U.S. because we have capabilities that are far greater than your guys's, Matthew says, might be right, but we'll be ready. I think Trump has weeded out all the people in the Secret Service and military that want him dead and try to kill him. Yeah, I also heard there was like a bomb threat outside the White House. I don't know if that has anything to do with Iran. They probably get numerous bomb threats throughout the day. It's just probably a reoccurring type of thing. I don't know if that was actually a legit report. I heard some people talking about it on Twitter, but I don't know if anything came from that. It could have just been like some wacko calling up and be like, there's, bomb threat, it could have been something like that. But I don't think it actually went anywhere, thankfully. But that's just something I came across earlier today.
American intelligence and also from sources saying what they are most worried about. But the airspace here, just to give you a sense of how dynamic the situation is, Phil, briefly when those missiles were coming in, we had people coming in from London. All of a sudden, you see airspace closed, people unable to get into the United Arab Emirates, temporary pauses and closures and reroutes. Airlines like Air France have changed their service and started to cut back service altogether to the UAE, just to give you a sense, and to Saudi Arabia, to give you a sense of the region on edge and the stakes and how high they are. Behind me, Phil, the western tip of the Strait of Hormuz, that crucial shipping lane, a series of disputed islands with massive Iranian military presence behind us, and all of this pointing to, of course, the biggest tool, the biggest threat that Iran has at its disposal, which would be perhaps mining or closing this crucial waterway for a fifth of the world's oil every day. But very much a region on edge, and the question of whether that strike in Doha was the first, whether it was what might be next, with U.S. military assets here on high alert. Phil?
Aaron, if you'll let me, kind of want to flash back to our past lives as finance economics reporters, based on what you were just talking about, and that is watching oil markets.
Thanks for popping in, Groove. Appreciate it.
Fascinating to me, because before...
Matthew says 32,000 views. Good going, man. Do you still do gaming? Yeah, man. I still do gaming, man. Yeah, I was playing some Rage last night toward the end of the stream. Some Rage, and I was playing something else, I thought, too. I don't know. But yeah, I still do gaming. I've just been watching a lot of the news lately because obviously big things have been happening. But yes, this is primarily still a gaming channel. But yeah, we had like 32,000 views last night. A couple nights back, we had like 53,000 views. So yeah, pretty crazy.
I think the rest of the world started to exhale a little bit based on the initial, or at least only retaliatory strike we've seen up to this point. Markets were responding.
Donald Hill says, remember when I told you 2 or 3 days ago there would be a distraction tactic with B-2 bombers? I vaguely remember that, man. Welcome back, Donald. How you doing?
Is there a sense right now in the region that the Strait of Hormuz is not really on the table for Iranian retaliation?
I think it depends on who you talk to. And obviously, Phil, you and I both know they have never in the history, even amidst conflict, closed it before. So there's that, and the market takes solace in that. However, you talk to some in the Iranian government, when we are able to have conversations with them, and they will always put that out there as something that they could do, which, of course, as you could see, the oil markets at this point don't think that that's a real risk. It is interesting, though, you look at the market always as a gauge of what the future holds. We are living in a world where actions do not always match what would be the rational explanation that makes the most sense, right? Whether you see that on tariffs or what you see it on. So, yes, the markets see this as not a real risk. They see...
Yeah, G-Dog, it was pretty ingenious for them to send, half of the bombers a different direction and then the other half to where they were actually supposed to be going. It's pretty genius, you know? And they planned this all with in a couple of weeks, which is very impressive. And from the satellite imagery from where the bunkers were, it showed the holes where the bunker busters went in, and they were very close, very grouped together, very precise. They definitely were very surgical in what went down. Hot Rod says Trump will save America. Well, let's hope it gets better. I think he's doing a pretty good job so far. We'll see how long this ceasefire goes and if it actually starts. Let me go back to the homepage. Let me go back to live news and let's see if we can get any live stuff that's going on. We're going to check out Agenda Free TV. I will post this guy's link in the chat if you want to check him out yourself. We've been tuning into a lot of what he's been covering. Let's click on his live stream. He's got 30,000 people watching. He's kind of been tracking what's been going on over in Israel.
Now, I'm hearing some claims that there was an interception. There are some claims online that there was an interception.
Iranian foreign minister says ceasefire has begun.
For sure that there was an interception. So let's wait and see what Israel says.
So let's see if the ceasefire is actually working. We'll see.
I do not know exactly what just happened. Clearly, there was a pre-alert and no.
Yeah, exactly.
No full-fledged alert, like the missiles are on.
Donald Hill says, have you seen the story about the sewage water running through the streets of Tehran? Their IDF supposedly hit the sewage plant with airstrikes. Oh, I did not hear about that. I heard the Israel force hit a prison or something. Not to blow up the prison, but to kind of help release some of the prisoners that were being held there. Because obviously those prisoners were probably not fans of the supreme leader. So I don't know if they have all these prisoners that they had just running around as well. And maybe that was part of why Iran was like, yo, we got enough trouble as it is. We gotta figure out what we're gonna do. We can't just keep launching missiles to solve our problems. We gotta actually figure this out. Thomas B, it's crazy how leftists are always so wrong on foreign politics. How you doing, Thomas B? Mostly political prisoners. Yeah. That's why they didn't blow up the prison, obviously. They just damaged it enough to, I'm assuming, to allow maybe some prison breaks or something. I think they also, the Israeli military also took out some of the roads that were left over from where the U.S. bombed the facilities, because there were like still roads leading up to it. So they took out a bunch of the roads, put some craters in it to hopefully prevent them using the roads to go back there and try to like sift through the rubble and rebuild things. Yasset, how you doing, Yasset? How's it going, man?
On their way, get into your shelters.
But supposedly the ceasefire has started. These are some live,
Will we get the real missile alerts?
some live feeds from Israel right now.
Find out shortly.
I don't know if they've actually stopped. I think they were supposed to stop, but there might still be missiles flying. I don't know.
IDF says they missiles have been launched from Iran. Breaking news.
Okay,
the
so
IDF says missiles have been launched from Iran.
so missiles are still being shot
Iranian
toward
missiles
Israel.
Incoming to Israel now, according to the IDF.
I think
breaking
like the
news,
ceasefire was supposed to
Iranian
stop.
missiles incoming to
Zach, how you doing, man?
Israel, according to the IDF.
At the last minute? Yeah, maybe.
Breaking news. Breaking.
Maybe somebody didn't get the memo. They're like, yo, bro, we're supposed to be having a ceasefire. It's like, oh, crap, I just sent like 20 more missiles. That guy's losing his job.
Breaking news. IDF says
How you doing, King?
Missiles are incoming.
So this guy's saying those have been reports from the Israel military that there's reports of more missiles coming in. I haven't there's not any sirens going off yet,
They say
but I don't know.
missiles are incoming. I am looking at I am waiting for the alerts to pop up on the SOFAR red alert.
So
page.
this guy's watching the live feed, so we should be able to see if any
We'll
missiles.
just have to see.
I don't know if there's like a delay on those live
Do I
feeds.
have a Jerusalem camera too? I don't even know what cameras I have here.
But we'll see if
I'll adjust everything.
they actually
I'll do
stop
my
firing.
best, guys. I don't even have a Jerusalem camera right now. I don't think. I have a Tel Aviv. I have a Modi.
Yeah, I heard that Iran launched over
I
1,000
have
drones
a
and 400
Titan.
missiles to an Israeli city all at once. By the way, I loved watching your live stream yesterday. Well, thank you, G-Dog. Appreciate it, man. Glad you enjoyed it.
I have not seen the
And I will get
IDF
back to playing video
missiles are
games,
on the
guys.
way.
Like, don't worry, I haven't stopped
have
playing
not
video
yet
games. This is
seen-
still a
hold
gaming
on.
channel, but
No.
this is kind of
seeing-
important stuff that's been going on lately. So, so much for the ceasefire. Yeah.
Warnings in large areas across the country. I'm seeing.
We'll see if Trump responds. I mean, the ceasefire was
Again,
supposed
the
to start.
IDF is saying that they have detected missiles fired from Iran.
And
now
I don't know if
seeing
their supreme
multiple
leader
areas
gave
of
the
the country
command to launch the missiles, or
as,
if it's this, or if it's just their
you know,
military
pre-warning,
going
but I don't
rogue
wanna-
and be like, we don't want a
I wanna
ceasefire.
wait until we get
We're
the
going to keep
actual-
fighting type
when we
thing.
get the
I don't know.
actual,
We haven't seen any missiles here, and we haven't heard
the
any
actual
sirens
alert will
yet.
pop up
But
on the SOFAR TZOFAR Red Alert app.
let me see if I refresh the page
And I
on
don't
Twitter. Is
see
there
that yet.
anything?
So waiting.
Is there
just
anything
waiting here to
happening on
see what'll
Twitter?
happen. Obviously, this would be a big deal.
Let's see. He's got the audio on right now.
Got the volume on.
I bet Iran fired one missile just to troll.
And these were fired from Iran.
Oh, so you see those? Yeah, I saw 6 holes. So you're saying there were like 2 bunker busters per hole or something? That's pretty precise then.
Alerts are expected in the next few minutes.
If 12 of them hit,
Hold
but there's
on.
only 6 holes, that
Do you
yeah.
have the
That's
alerts? No. I just saw more pre-alerts.
hopefully
More
it's a false alarm.
pre-alerts? What's happening? I'm seeing more pre-alerts. I haven't seen more alerts. Again, warnings are expected to be received in the next few minutes.
Beantown, how you
That's what
doing,
I'm seeing.
Beantown?
I have not yet seen actual alerts. But this is for a big part of Israel. A big part of Israel. Early warning for a big part of
Yeah,
Israel.
guys, do me a favor, smash that like button if you haven't.
That's what I'm seeing for a lot of Israel, but it's all pre. Oh, here we are. We have alerts. Breaking
Oh,
news.
crap.
There are alerts now. There are
Oh,
alerts
crap.
coming in. That's
got alerts,
northern
guys. This
Israel
ain't
right
good.
there. We have alerts coming in. That's northern Israel.
Unless
Hold
Iran was
on,
like,
what do we
sure, we're
see?
going to do
What do we
a
see?
ceasefire, and then
Okay,
they just wanted
so
Trump
a
to
lot
like
for
post,
northern
hey,
Israel right now,
the
a
war's
lot for
over,
northern
and just to
Israel.
like troll people and be
Haifa
like, nah,
area, Haifa
we changed our
and
mind.
North of Haifa, so we'll have to see what we can see.
Unless they were just trying to troll Trump.
You expect to see a lot of alerts when this happens.
If that's the case,
because,
Trump ain't going to be happy.
one missile will set off a lot of alerts as it is. So we don't know how many missiles it is yet, but I got Haifa there. I have a Tel Aviv cam. I have a Modin cam.
Yeah, 12
Right
hours, yeah,
now,
from both
I'm
sides.
seeing the alerts in northern Israel, more the Haifa area. So I haven't seen the other ones.
What happened
So
to the
I'm looking
camera?
at that
My camera?
right now, the Haifa camera right there. That's the Haifa camera. And I have not seen. That's what. Sirens.
Oh, there's the sirens right there.
All right, so sirens may. Are these all? I don't know where the sirens are.
There's the
There's
sirens.
some alerts for southern Israel too. All right, so I'm going to do the best I can and just try to see what we can see on the cameras. But I think Haifa is. There's a few alerts in the south, and then there's a bunch in the north. So.
Yeah, hopefully it just wasn't Iran trying to mess with us. You know, so being like, okay, yeah, ceasefire, we agree to it.
Haifa, there's Haifa right there.
Oh,
There's
crap, here's the
Haifa right
missiles.
there. Look at this. We're seeing something in the sky in Haifa.
This ain't good,
That
boys.
is the Haifa camera. That is the Haifa camera. We're seeing something go through the air.
This ain't good, boys.
Camera that is live. You're watching it live. That is the Haifa camera. I know it says both Tel Aviv and Haifa. So that was something. There's something else streaking through the sky right now in the Haifa cam. Look at down here, right down here, right there, streaking. I don't know if something got intercepted, but that is your Haifa camera. That's where I see stuff right now on that camera. I know it says Tel Aviv, but on the bottom it says Haifa. That is the Haifa camera. We just saw, and I think
Interception?
we just saw an exo-atmospheric interception outside the atmosphere.
Was that just one missile? Or was that like 2 or 3?
When the circle, when it kind of popped up like a circle in the expanding circle, I really think we just saw an interception outside the atmosphere. I think we just saw that. So.
I think it was 2.
Right now, there are some alerts for southern Israel, far south, and also a couple in the north. But
It's already been reported that a strike wing went up in the air from Saudi Arabia.
I really think we saw an exo-atmospheric interception, if that's the name of it.
If you guys are watching, drop those comments down below.
It looked like there might have been several interceptions there.
There's supposed to be a ceasefire going on, guys.
The activity is.
This doesn't look like a
there may be
ceasefire.
stuff going on in southern Israel where I do not have cameras. I don't have cameras in southern Israel, but we certainly saw some activity. You're seeing a streak right here. There you go. There, the streak there. Wow. So right now, in terms of alerts, there's a couple remaining. I don't know.
Hopefully that was it. Maybe
couple
someone
on
just
the
missed the
map
memo.
way in the
I don't know.
north.
If that's the case, that guy's getting fired.
A few in southern Israel. I don't know if that means more missiles are coming.
What if the base is launching the missiles,
Keep
haven't
an
got the
eye out
missiles
there.
yet?
Oh, the camera's focusing in. Now, is that something? Look at this.
That looks like a
look
new
at
one.
that right there. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Look at this. You're seeing it. You're seeing it move right there on the screen. I don't. Now, are we? Did it get destroyed? You see that on the top there? You see that on the top? I'm still seeing some movement in there. I don't know if we're seeing debris from an intercepted missile. Maybe. It seems to not be that strong there. So that's the Haifa camera. Oh, I just saw something on another camera. I saw something on the Modin cam, I think. But where did my Modin cam go? Oh, I'm not going to mess with this right now. There's one on the Modin cam that looks like maybe an interception. Look, now I'm no longer seeing alerts. Look on the Modin cam right here. Modin cam in central Israel. There is, can you guys see that on the Modin cam right there? The lower
So there's
right is
some
the Modin cam.
chemtrails from
The top left
multiple
is the,
cameras.
Haifa camera. So now on the Modin camera, you're seeing activity there too. I'm assuming that's different activity than what we see on the Haifa camera, but I can't be absolutely sure. But that's the.
How you doing, Chet? Welcome back, Chet.
In central Israel.
So there's supposed to be a ceasefire happening right now, but Iran, from what it appears, just shot a couple missiles toward Israel.
And again, I'm sorry for the confusion about where these all are. Haifa is top left. Modin is bottom.
I don't know
right.
if that was like one last
Didn't really see
hurrah
anything
or if somebody
on
missed the
television
memo. I don't
camera.
know.
So right now, I don't see at the moment.
And yeah, Israel has the Iron Dome. So obviously those
anything
missiles
with
got
Tel Aviv
intercepted.
cam. But let's keep an eye on Modin and also Haifa.
Valenti, how you doing, man?
It does appear that Iran has launched missiles
For sure, bro.
into Israel. Now remember, the ceasefire technically doesn't start until 7 a.m.
Oh,
Israel
the
time.
ceasefire doesn't even
But
start yet.
Iran claimed that they would be okay with starting it earlier. So
Okay, so maybe the
Iran's
agreement
gonna
on
try
when
to
the
do this
ceasefire
thing
is starting
where they say,
between
well,
both of them was a
Trump
little
said
bit
the ceasefire
little bit
didn't
sketchy.
start
Maybe
until
they don't know when it was
7
supposed to start.
Israel time. Because that's when Trump said it started at 7 a.m. Israel time. We're not there yet, but about an hour and a half ago, Iran said, well, you know, if Israel stops by 3:30 Israel time, we will stop too.
So
And
maybe
that
they
seems
just
to be what
got the
happened,
scheduling
but now Iran
confused.
has apparently fired missiles at Israel.
Maybe one guy's watch stopped and he missed the memo. I don't know.
Let me try to get you information now about what happened. And
So I guess they said they'd be open to a ceasefire starting sooner, but
that's
I guess it's not actually supposed to start yet. But people, I don't know. But Trump said it was starting at a certain time, so
I know it's confusing.
I got no clue. It seemed like there were only a couple missiles,
so is that
though.
what Iran's going to do? Are they going to say, well, the ceasefire actually starts?
So it wasn't like a
7
whole
a.m.?
barrage.
Now, what's Israel going to do?
Hopefully Israel's like, you know what? We're just gonna let it go. We're not gonna retaliate because we want this to wind down. Yeah.
But there were definitely things going through the sky. We saw them on the cameras.
According to reports, both sides
Let me
agreed
check
to the
some of
ceasefire.
my
I just don't think
Israel sources.
maybe there was
Clearly,
some
there
issues
were
with when they
Things
were gonna
through
actually
the sky.
start it. I don't know. It says, doesn't the U.S. have a golden dome that the blockade is working on?
Well, this is a big
Supposedly.
deal. This is a big deal. After Iran,
Chet says they have 24-hour totals
Foreign
before
Minister
fire
of
starts. It was
Iran
like
seemed
12
to
hours
say
each to
about
finish
over
the
an
current
hour
missions.
ago that the ceasefire had begun. Well,
Iran said there
is that
won't be a
missing?
ceasefire. That's what CNN said.
Um,
Let me pull up latest news here. Is Donald Trump saying anything? Well, that's his daily news
I don't
account.
have any kind of confirmation about what just happened.
Live news.
So Daphne Lael, who is a reporter in Israel, says these are individual launches. So, you know, that would not be huge. That would not be a huge amount of them.
I'm not seeing any reports
Let's see
here, any
what
new
else I can find
reports.
for you. But there did appear to be interceptions.
Let me see if I could bring up CNN maybe.
Whether Israel expected this, I don't know. Maybe Israel.
Yeah, I haven't
is
seen any
back in
current
mind
tweets
of
from
saying, well,
Trump
they're probably gonna
either.
do this. Remember, because there earlier in the evening there was a lot.
Let's see if Fox is
apparently
saying
the
anything.
most of the war, there were hours of Israeli attacks on Tehran, which multiple accounts said were the heaviest of the war. And
Okay, let me pause this one. Breaking live. Trump says Iran, Israel ceasefire, Iran. And then it says Israel warns of new missiles being launched from Iran. Okay, so Fox News is also reporting on this.
assumption that everything works as it should, which it will. I would like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage, and intelligence to end what should be called the 12-day war. So you can see some of the missile defense systems.
Yeah. So,
Intercepting
yeah, I don't think the ceasefire started yet.
All right, let's take you outside this vantage point right now. I want to put up this a very new post by the president.
Oh, did Trump post?
So he says this, Iran and Israel came to me almost simultaneously and said, peace, I knew the time was now. He goes on to say, the world and the Middle East are the real winners. Both nations will see tremendous love, peace, and prosperity in their futures. They have so much to gain and yet so much to lose if they stay from the road of righteousness and truth. The future for Israel and Iran is unlimited.
So he just posted this.
Promise. God bless you both. So that came in literally moments ago. Let's go back out to our shot there over the skies of Tel Aviv. So, reading yet again the post from the president. He says, Israel and Iran came to me almost simultaneously and said, peace. I knew the time was now. The world and the Middle East are the real winners. Both nations will see tremendous love, peace, and prosperity in their future.
I guess it just happened. They both called him up and be like, yo, peace.
To lose if they stray from the road of righteousness and truth. The future for Israel and Iran is unlimited, he says, and filled with great promise, saying, God bless you both. So remember, the ceasefire is not in effect just yet.
And the ceasefire isn't in effect, so.
Unlimited for Israel and Iran.
And he's reading the same thing.
Israel and Iran is unlimited and filled with great promise. That was just posted
Kanadi,
6 minutes ago.
They both posted that they agreed to it
6 minutes ago.
Welcome to the stream, Dapper Sapper and Kanadi. Welcome as well.
One of our viewers said crazy timing. Well, he posted it. I don't know if it was a scheduled post or what, but it was posted.
His stat post on all other platforms, yeah. Well, no matter what they're calling it, whether it's a ceasefire or they're just like, if you guys stop firing, we're going to stop firing, but we're not going to call it a whatever the case may be, as long as they both stop fighting, that's cool with me. Like, they don't got to call it anything. Just stop fighting. And let's, like, you know, back things up a bit. Let's lower the temperature, right? Unlimited amount of BS available to all, guaranteed of zero substance or reason. Trump said he'd agreed to a ceasefire, but Iran disagreed.
Okay, I gotta get these cameras back.
So the cameras are back up. I haven't seen any more missiles. We saw like two or three missiles.
Cameras here. Oh,
Let me see
I'm
here.
not even on the screen. Should probably put myself on the screen.
I'm kind of looking on X here. Okay, let's go back to Fox News.
Went into effect officially. You know that because you've seen some of the damage wrought by some of these Iranian drones and missiles to communities there up and down the state of Israel.
And I don't think the official ceasefire, like the time they both agreed on, has started yet.
So
I think Iran said if Israel decides to stop early, they'll stop early, but I think the official dedeadline hasn't passed yet.
I'm Andrew Kraft. We'll see you in just a moment.
Okay, so they're going to a little commercial break. So we're going to go back on Agenda Free. If you guys want to check out this guy's channel for yourself and watch it without my commentary and subscribe to him, I posted the link in the description. Also, guys, if you want to vote on the poll we got going in the chat, I asked everybody, will the Iran-Israel ceasefire last? 123 people have voted so far. 34% say yes, and 66% say no. So feel free to vote on that poll.
I believe sometimes they would actually launch after the ceasefire, and it's when I just remember.
Donald says a lot of Chinese planes flying in and out of Iran reportedly today. China doesn't want the regime to fall because they need Iran's oil. Dapper Sapper says, Taser correct. The ceasefire that is between Iran and Israel is being declined by both Iran and Israel, but Iran declined Trump's ceasefire. Iran said they will stop firing on Israel if Israel stops. I mean, regardless of how they want to classify it, if they're saying like if you stop fighting, we'll stop fighting, then I'm okay with that. Jay Bag says you don't deserve to debate anything. You can't spell missiles. Did I misspell missiles? Oopsie, we did, guys. We did misspell missiles. Thank you, man. Are they missiles or are they rockets? I believe they're missiles. They're fireworks, guys. They're fireworks. Very big fireworks. There we go. I think I fixed it. How is U.S. Navy positioned in the area? That will tell a story in itself. I'm pretty sure we got the whole area covered, right? Aren't there like 3 aircraft carriers in the region? Chet says, I heard the missiles that landed on the U.S. base took out a goat, cow, and a Port John that came directly from an American soldier. War's over at Lenny the Bear. How you doing, Lenny?
Times covering these.
I mean, hopefully, man, like the ceasefire, whatever they're wanting to choose to call it, hasn't started yet. Iran just shot a couple missiles at Israel. Israel took them out with deterrence. But yeah, I guess the agreed to time of when the ceasefire, for lack of a better word, is supposed to start hasn't came yet. So I don't know.
Just to let you know, the event has ended. The event has now ended.
We'll see, Zach. We'll see what happens. It's kind of too early to tell at the moment.
Has ended.
Dapper says the Navy seems pretty comfy right now. Packed in the region pretty tight. Yeah. Iran launched a missile. Yeah, that was before the ceasefire agreement. The ceasefire took place after that.
Now, what is this? Hang on a moment. Well, again, Home Front Command just said people can leave their shelters.
Just like Iran, Israel shouldn't have nukes, but we all know they do. How you doing? How you pronounce your name? Zhang Pai? I don't know if that's how you pronounce your name, but welcome to the stream, man. If you guys are just popping in for the first time, drop those comments down below. Dapper Sapper says, so there was making love to my best goat and Trump decided to make a effing Grand Canyon out of my nuclear site. What? Thousands of troops are also sent to the Middle East from the U.S. Yeah, I mean, we already have bases in the Middle East. Like, don't we have like 10 bases?
Breaking news. Khan News reports that there were 2 missiles launched from Iran, one to the northern region, one to the southern Negev. That's from Khan News.
Yeah, I don't believe the ceasefire started yet.
They say there were 2 missiles launched.
So I thought originally the ceasefire had started, and then Iran launched missiles, and I was like, oh crap, they're breaking the ceasefire. But I guess it hasn't started yet, technically.
So,
I read somewhere that Iran is threatening to continue their attack on Israel to prove that Trump's ceasefire claim is a farce. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess they could change their mind at any time. Probably wouldn't be smart of them to do so. Like, especially after Trump didn't choose to retaliate after they shot missiles at the base in Qatar. Trump did not choose to retaliate. He could have retaliated, but he chose not to. So it would be pretty stupid of them to poke the bear even more than they have.
I have to defer to those in the know. Khan News is reporting again that there were 2 missiles.
Because I'm pretty sure, like, if the U.S. goes back with bombers, they're not going to miss.
We have there are now new pre-alarms, new pre-alerts right now. New pre-alerts.
Okay, so these might be more
saying
missiles incoming from
missile
Israel.
Alerts expected
Missiles coming toward
in
Israel.
the next few minutes. There are new pre-alerts right now. So more missiles are expected.
So more missiles coming, maybe? I don't know if they're just using up missiles before the ceasefire or if they plan on not stopping at all.
Launch pre-alerts. Yes, IDF.
Let's be
again,
honest, Biden would
just
never
said,
launch the B-2 attacks. Yeah.
Missiles incoming from Iran.
Biden probably doesn't
More
even know what a
missiles
B-2 bomber
incoming
is.
now.
He's like, we have those?
More missiles.
We have those?
incoming
When do we get
from
those?
Iran now.
Okay, so we might see some more missiles, guys. Because there's more pre-alarms going off in Israel. I guess these are. I guess that happens before the actual alarms happen.
How much we'll see on this Tel Aviv cam.
And last time the pre-alarms happened, we saw a couple missiles pop up. So, Trump, what does Trump lie about? What has Trump lied about so far?
Hang on a second here.
Donald says, I believe we have 2 aircraft carriers, 9 destroyers in the area, and I'm not sure if the U.S. Nimitz showed up yet. I believe we have submarines there too, because we used a submarine to shoot I think Tomahawk missiles or something toward those bases that we took out the other night. I believe those were some of them were from a submarine. So there's also submarines in the region as well. At the very least, 1 submarine.
Okay.
There's at least 4 submarines parked out. Yeah. I'm guaranteed. Yeah, exactly.
So what I don't like about that Tel Aviv cam.
I feel like anytime you got like ships anywhere, there's probably a submarine pretty close.
Oh, we're back. We're back. We got the good Tel Aviv cam back. Okay, it came back.
Probably attack subs and 1 bomber.
Okay, hang on, folks. So we are waiting. There are incoming missiles to Israel now.
Oh boy, more missiles
We're
coming
waiting
in.
for the alerts. We have cameras up.
G-Dog says Putin threatened the U.S. if they mess with Iran, but Russia ain't going to do anything like you got your own war. Yeah. News alerts Trump is purposely trying to take out.
The IDF says there are missiles.
Wait, what?
Missiles incoming now.
It's supposedly trying to take us out for Putin? I doubt that. The Navy is jumping at the bit right now. They're getting bored. But again, guys, like I guess the ceasefire hasn't started yet.
I don't have the alerts yet. I don't know where we're talking about.
Let me look on X real quick on my phone because I can surf it faster on my phone. Let me see if anything new's popping up over here.
There's a bunch of them, I think. Yeah, it's a bunch of different locations. So I don't know where to expect the actual alerts to pop up. We'll have to see. There's the so far red alert map. Nothing on it yet. We'll do the best we can with the cameras. Is this Iran trying to get in last fire?
Multiple interceptions over Israel, no impact reported.
Israel time ceasefire that President Trump said was going to take place.
Iran state TV reportedly declared victory ceasefire imposed on the enemy through missile attacks as sirens wail across Israel. Iranian state television. Ceasefire was imposed on the enemy because of Iran's successful missile retaliation attacks. IDF confirms ballistic missiles launched from Iran with early warning issues nationwide. The bizarre declaration comes as Iran actively attacks Israel hours after Trump's peace announcement and Iran's 4 a.m. ceasefire claim.
More missiles coming in. So right now we're waiting for the alerts, which will tell people in specific parts of
So
the
I guess
country.
they're expecting more missiles soon?
The missiles are headed towards them.
Yeah, 4 a.m. their time. Yeah.
I'm just looking
It's
at my
7:37 my time. But yeah, 6 a.m. their time. I think it's already 6 a.m. their time.
We'll do the best we can with the cameras. The camera people are told on some of these cameras that by the government that they need to point the cameras at the sky when the missiles come in. That's why the Haifa and Tel Aviv cams are pointed up at the sky right now, because the government does not want to show where the missiles come down and hit. That's why those are pointed at the sky.
40,000 U.S. troops placed in the Middle East. Yeah, I heard similar reports between like 40 and 50,000.
Is there any chance that this is going to be another one of these no more alert event ended? Because we're getting to the point where normally by now...
Unless it was a false alarm just now.
Well, I think we're getting close to the point where you would see the... oh, well, now we're actually seeing the city. I mean, soon I would expect to have the alerts pop up. And they haven't yet. We just have the pre-alert. Again,
very interesting, guys. Very interesting. Okay, what is Fox saying? They're talking about New York City.
This is the campaign that both fears for the future of the city, but never doubts the possibility.
Yeah, they're talking about some different elections going on.
Something on my alert map. One of our viewers said the alert should start now if it's real. Yeah, I mean, it's getting to the point.
Dapper Sapper says, I don't think it'll be a successful ceasefire.
Yes, alerts coming in. Alerts coming in. Are these Are these... Oh, alerts. Okay, we have alerts.
Oh, boy, here we go. Here we go again, guys.
Tel Aviv area. Tel Aviv and the surrounding
more missiles incoming.
Tel Aviv and
this ain't good.
Area.
This ain't good, boys. Hopefully they get intercepted. I don't know how many there's going to be. There were only 2 last time.
Maybe seeing something. I'm not seeing the Haifa thing right now. I might get rid of Haifa for the moment.
Here's the sirens.
Here we go.
Oh, boy. Oh, buddy.
Oh, there's some in southern. There's also alerts around Beersheba. There are also alerts in Beersheba area in southern Israel. So Tel Aviv area in central Israel and Beersheba area in southern area. 2 groups of alerts. I do not have a camera in the south.
Is Tel Aviv is launching missiles? I believe it's Iran launching missiles. I don't know if Israel's launching missiles back.
Again,
I think they're just intercepting ones from Iran.
Also north of Jerusalem as well. Ramallah, West Bank. We got a bunch of those.
It could be Iran just kind of testing to see if Israel's being serious. You know, like, we're going to shoot some missiles. If you guys don't retaliate, then we'll take the ceasefire seriously type thing. I don't know. Or maybe it's just Iran being Iran and just ignoring. But a lot of missiles have been reported, I guess.
Tel Avivs have gone away. Some of the Tel Avivs went away. And now it's like north, and there's like a ring around Tel Aviv. Well, some south of Tel Aviv, but they're kind of spread out in the country. There's some in the Tel Aviv metro.
But the sirens went off, so I don't know if the sirens continue to sound.
Some near Gaza. So
it's definitely Iran being Iran. How you doing, Corey?
What's going on with these? Most of them are in the south. Most of the alerts are in southern Israel. So we might not see anything on these cameras. All the activity might be going on in southern Israel.
Because they don't have cameras everywhere, and they pointed the cameras at the... Oh, crap.
I heard a boom from
we just heard a boom. That ain't good.
I don't see anything on Haifa. I'm looking at the Haifa. I'm looking at the different cameras here. I don't see anything on the Modin cam. I don't see anything on the Tel Aviv cam. We definitely heard something. but I'm looking at the 3 cameras and I'm not seeing anything on the. Oh, hold on, Modine cam. Modine cam.
Oh boy.
Modine cam, do we have something there? It's moving around. What is the Modine cam seeing? It's moving. It's maybe seeing something. The Modine cam.
Oh crap.
Yes, right there on the Modine camera, Central Israel. It's hard to see. It's behind the clouds. It looks like maybe there's a trail there. Oh, up there as well. There you go. So that's on the Modine Central Israel camera. Maybe an interception. Maybe that's what we heard. Again, that's Modine Israel.
Have they gone back to?
So you have this, I'm going to call it
Nope.
Israel, Central Israel. Alerts coming in for Hebron, south of Jerusalem.
This live stream probably has more
Israel,
views than
I'm seeing some
CNN.
more alerts. So I don't know what's happened in southern Israel because I don't have a.
There's
camera,
60,000 people
looks
watching
like,
this live
in
stream.
Modine area,
Again,
some
guys, if you want to
activity
check this
happened.
guy
we're
out for
seeing
yourself,
some more
I'm going to put
here,
his link to his
south of
channel in the
Bethlehem,
description.
Kfar Etzion.
He got some really good content. He seems to be pretty on top of what's going
Also
on over there.
some near the Dead Sea. So
Agenda Free TV.
keeping an eye out here.
Tom says CNN trash.
On my camera,
Welcome to the stream,
I am not
Tom.
seeing activity at the moment.
Can we see Rachel Maddow coverage? If you guys are still watching, drop some comments down below.
I do not have right now a Jerusalem camera. Sometimes I do. I don't have one right now. I got Modine, Haifa, and Tel Aviv, and I am not seeing anything on the Haifa camera.
I'm going to turn on subscriber mode, so if you are a subscriber, you can drop a comment. So consider hitting that subscribe button if you want to join the conversation. If not, it's all good.
People have not been told they can leave their.
And also, guys, I asked the
do
question,
not
is
know,
Iran-Israel ceasefire
maybe-
going to
maybe
last?
there were a bunch in the Beersheba
144 people have
area.
voted. 33% say
I
yes,
just
and
saw
67% say
There
no.
are new alerts. It looks like some new alerts just came in.
New alerts.
Maybe. Look at the map here. See the map? That's the current alerts.
New alerts.
East side of the country. Here are the current
Oh,
alerts
buddy,
right
buddy,
there.
buddy.
East side of the country. There's Jerusalem. There's Hebron. West Bank area, maybe? Yeah, some in the West Bank. I'm not seeing anything on the camera, so I'm just showing you the alert.
Also,
map
guys, how
here.
does my audio
That's what I'm
sound? I
seeing
plugged in
on
a
the
different
map with
microphone,
red
so I'm not
markers.
using my headset mic anymore. I'm using an
Something's
actual
going on.
microphone. Hopefully, it's a little better quality than yesterday.
A few of them there. I know it's a little hard to see. Now there's just this one on the map there, that one there, or two of them there. Nothing on the cameras right now.
Nothing yet. See if I can bring up CNN. I don't think CNN live streams on their YouTube
I do
channel. It's
not
all behind
know
like a
what
paywall.
happened in the south.
ABC. We could go CBS News. Let me pull up CBS
Report
News
of
real quick.
damage. Okay. N12 reporter Nir Devori says there is a report of damage to a structure in the southern region of Israel.
So a
Southern
missile may
Israel.
have hit something.
I don't know what damage that is, but a report of damage. Beersheba, yes. N12's Nitzan Shapira says there are a report of a missile fall in the Beersheba area. That's in southern Israel. Multiple reports. Fire and rescue spokesperson for Israel says firefighters on their way to the scene in southern Israel. That's
Okay, let me go to CBS, see what they're covering right now.
Days covering news in 3 states.
Okay, nothing. They're doing nothing. What about ABC News?
The Israeli embassy staffers who were murdered.
They're doing nothing in relation to what's going on right now. Let me go back. What about Newsmax? Is Newsmax covering this? Or are they just doing pre-programmed stuff?
In the history of Europe and Scotland and
Nah, I don't think they're doing anything either. Okay, so we're gonna go back to Agenda Free TV.
From in here. Iran launches missiles at Israel.
That guy from Agenda Free TV has great coverage, but man, he can be annoying.
Hit in South.
Guaranteed you SEAL Team 20 is on standby as well as a 5th group. Army Special Forces, they're in that area.
There's
Can't see what doesn't exist. Just like domestic terror that happens in America. Maybe a grump false flag to garner more fans.
Check sources and see what we can find out about the reported hit in Beersheba.
Abraham, how you doing, man?
MDA, Emergency Medical Services in Israel, says no reports of casualties yet. MDA teams are going out to search.
Yet, well, that's good. That's good, right?
Reports were received, so no reports of casualties yet, but we'll have to see.
Okay, so we're waiting for something to happen. I'm gonna bring up Steam.
Am I seeing this correctly?
Because I want to kind of browse sales that are going on.
Building. I don't know if that's a.
We're gonna multitask, guys.
I'm seeing reports that a building in Beersheba was hit. Again, I am seeing multiple reports, unconfirmed, that a building, possibly a 7-story building, was hit in Beersheba. Yes, multiple reports now. I just saw one from N12 saying
okay,
that
so they hit something. 7-story building.
Was hit in Beersheba.
I typically stream in vertical because I show up on the shorts feed.
A picture of it right now. Well, I'm not seeing a picture of it yet. I am seeing a picture of some damage on Telegram. I don't have a picture of the building yet. Israeli police say they're going to experts. They're going to rocket landing sites, missile landing sites in the south. But again, reportedly, a 7-story building hit.
Are there any gamers in the chat?
I have not yet seen. I just saw a picture. I am seeing pictures of a big smoke column in Beersheba. I have not seen the actual building in any of these pictures yet. I'm sure we will soon. But again, reportedly, a 7-story building hit in Beersheba.
7-story building. Well, hopefully nobody was injured or worse. I don't think they've. Well, we haven't seen any more missiles. We've heard some missile warnings.
Ashraf and Doron Kadosh, Israeli reporter, says in the first salvo there were 2 missiles. In the second salvo there were 4 missiles. One apparently hit in Beersheba. So I believe 6
Tulsi
missiles in
TV.
those 2 salvos. Oh, also, I'm seeing a report from Channel 12, indications of new launches. Channel 12.
Okay, let me.
There are indications of new
Let me pull
launches,
up
so we might have another
Tulsi
pre-alert
TV real quick.
very soon.
I've never
or
heard of
alert,
this.
But indications of new launches.
I don't know if they're. Are they live right now? They streamed 4 hours ago, so they're not live right now.
We're watching that, but we're also keeping an eye to try to figure out what happened in Beersheba.
Independent real-time news.
Of a 7-story building being hit.
Yeah, I've never heard of these guys. I'll subscribe to them.
Will this derail the ceasefire? I do not know.
Because has the ceasefire officially started yet? Or is it supposed to be starting soon? Because it's 5:52 a.m. over there.
A photo or
So I don't know if
that
like the ceasefire is supposed to start at 6 a.m. or if it was like supposed to start at 4 a.m. I don't know.
in Beersheba, if indeed was. Oh, hold on. There's
Chef Made, how you doing, Chef?
Big smoke column.
Or is it Chief?
In Beersheba. I can tell
It's
you
supposed
that.
to start at 7 a.m. No. Okay, so it's like it's a couple hours away then.
Will there be more launches?
Huh.
I'm seeing what
I'm not seeing any new videos from them though. Like a month ago, 3 weeks ago, 13 days ago. I'm not seeing any new stuff. 4 hours ago. China threatens Iran. It's Trump confirmed ceasefire.
guys, I'm going to post a photo of the area where the building was, apparently. I just posted a photo in the chat that shows the general area and the smoke. I just posted it in the chat. I still have yet to see a photo or video of that building up close.
Any video games you guys recommend? Yeah, so many people are saying so many different things. Yeah.
I'm posting a picture in the chat as well. Oh, I'm posting another photo I'm posting some photos in the chat. Again, big 7-story building reportedly hit. Extensive damage.
Joshua says he plays DayZ. I tried playing DayZ, but I couldn't figure out how like the servers and stuff work, so I ended up refunding it.
I see a photo of a number of cars significantly damaged. A bunch of cars got damaged. I can tell you that.
Corey says he's looking forward to Mafia 4.
Khan News says reports of a damage to a 7-story building in Beersheba from a...
Yeah, thank you, Donald. Subscribe, everybody. If you're watching, that subscribe button. Smash that subscribe button, guys. Cool Ed says Trump supporters, tell your king you want to fight his war. Where you sign up? How you doing, Cool Ed? You've been here before, right? I think Cool Ed's been here. I think he was here last night.
Video of somebody like right in front of the building, where you can really see what exactly happened. There's a lot of stuff from the neighborhood. Oh, all right. So the Modine, let me get a different camera.
Well, welcome back, Cool Ed. Appreciate you coming back. Just popping in, guys. Welcome to the stream. We are watching and reacting to coverage from this guy right here, Agenda Free TV. We're kind of switching between him and different news outlets. He seems to be covering it the best at the moment.
One of the other cameras. I have a Haifa camera. I can show you the Haifa camera.
I go to YouTube and just go to live news, or just go to news, Fox News. I think they might be on a commercial break.
And welcome back here to Live Now from Fox. I'm Andrew Kraft. Let's get into more of these top headlines. We do have some breaking news. Remember, I was referring to the fact
breaking
that
news.
we're waiting for Israeli and Iranian confirmation of that very ceasefire the president announced here. I want to put this up from the foreign minister of Iran, Aragachi, there, saying, as Iran has repeatedly made clear...
Oh, this is a old video. So maybe they're not live right now? I thought they were always live. Maybe they are not currently... So let me see here.
United States Constitution
Okay, so this is live.
takes unilateral offensive military action without seeking the approval of the United States Congress. The use of military...
They're just talking about the budget bill.
Yes, I am posting it in the chat. I am posting a link in the chat.
Okay, this is from CNN earlier.
Announcement of a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. One question that comes and still remains tonight after the U.S. attacks in Iran is just how much of Iran's nuclear program is left intact, and also the levels of its enriched uranium.
Well, thank you, Donald Hill,
Vice
for
President
your
Vance
service,
was
man.
asked about that very matter just a few hours ago.
Do you know for sure where all the highly enriched uranium is?
Well, Brett, I think that's actually not the question before us. The question before us is, can Iran enrich the uranium to a weapons-grade level, and can they convert that fuel to a nuclear weapon? And we know, based on the success of our mission, of course, the leadership of the president, but the incredible skill of our military, that the two mission objectives are complete.
We kind of already watched that. See what else? What is CNN putting out? You got any new stuff? Uh, 5 hours ago, 6 hours ago. Yeah, nothing really from CNN. What about CBS? CBS News? See if they have anything happening. I don't know if they're talking about this.
And truly.
Nope. Okay. Trump announces Israel ceasefire.
Well, Iran's parliament voted on Sunday to close access to the Strait of Hormuz.
I need to reinstall Battlefield.
Press TV.
G-Dog.
A final decision would still have to be made by Iran's top security officials, but a move to do so could have significant ramifications on the global economy. The Strait of Hormuz is located in the Persian Gulf and connects the body of water to the Arabian Sea. It's bordered by...
Dapper Sapper says CNN just over there reporting of an unarmed man armed with a bow and shooting it with his feet. Which Battlefield do you usually play? I don't know. I think the newest Battlefield I have is maybe Battlefield 1. I've been having issues with the EA launcher. Like, because I tried playing it on Xbox. I have a bunch of them on Xbox, but it like unlinked my account, and I don't know how I relink my account. So I think I can maybe only play them on computer, but I haven't reinstalled them on computer. I can't remember what the newest one I have is. Josh says, I just hit the sub. You seem cool, brother. Loving that you live with the world open. And with yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate that, Joshua. Yeah, this is primarily a gaming channel, so I play a lot of gaming, but I also like to talk politics and pretty much whatever you guys want to talk about in the chat. And I like to do these reaction videos with, you know, big things that are going on in the news. I don't react to everything that's in the news, but this has been like pretty important stuff. Did I see the story about the mass shooter at the church getting run over by a pickup and then shooting twice? I did hear about that.
As well as to probe the basis and justification
Battlefield 2042.
Military action and to understand.
Let me go back to
Iran to its north.
Wait, where's Agenda Free TV? Where is he? Where's Agenda? Oh, there he is, right there. Let me go back to Agenda Free TV because he's currently has the best coverage. And then I can look up Battlefield and see. I think it's on sale right now. I think it's only like $3 or something. But I might already own that one.
Get video from the area. I will put it up there for you. It's possible we will.
I might already own that Battlefield. Let me look it up.
I don't have any
yeah, 2042? Is that the one? Yeah, that's only $3 right now on Steam.
At the moment, that I have seen.
I think I might own it through the EA launcher though. I just have to log into my EA account. I think I might have that one on computer.
Is reportedly in
Yeah, I think all the Battlefield games are on sale right now.
Saw that from N12 News.
Well, a lot of them are anyway. On PlayStation, it's $70. That's why you gotta wait for the sales, man. Firebreak is free on Game Pass. I do have Game Pass. One of my subscribers by the name of Jeebus, he gifted me Game Pass. So I do have Game Pass. I just haven't really installed a lot of games yet. I've heard the name Firebreak, but I don't really know what that is. Is it like a FPS game or an RPG?
Now, technically, the ceasefire, when it was first announced by President Trump, was supposed to begin around 7 a.m. Israel time. Now, I don't know if that's still going to happen.
So we're not quite to the ceasefire yet.
Oh, Netanyahu said something?
Oh, what did he say?
I saw that Netanyahu had said something, but sorry, I didn't even see it because we've been covering these missiles.
Okay, what did Netanyahu say? He's going to look it up. What did BB say?
Oh, hang on. Manny Fabian of Times of Israel reports that 2 missiles were launched in the first wave, 4 missiles were launched in the second wave, and a missile struck an apartment building in Beersheba.
Black Hawk Down? They made a video game out of that? There isn't a ceasefire. Trump lied. I don't know if Trump lied. I feel like there's probably going to be one. But it's obviously it's up to Israel and Iran if they want to stop shooting at each other. I have a couple of the Assassin's Creed. I played a little bit of Black Flag the other day.
An hour before the
I think I have like maybe 1 and 2 on Xbox 360.
Also,
and I think the newest one I have is Black Flag.
At 4 a.m. Iran time, they were going to stop doing anything. But they didn't. They said they did, and they said they were going
For everybody in the chat right now, thank you for subscribing, by the way. Everybody that's chatting is a subscriber, so you guys rock. I have subscriber mode turned on, I believe. So if you're a subscriber, you could drop a comment. But yeah, I haven't really got too far into Black Flag, but I want to get deeper into it. I've kind of just got past the little tutorial mission at the beginning. And that's kind of as far into it as I've gotten. I started falling asleep because it was like super late that night. But I want to get back into it.
Hold on.
Yasette says, not going to lie, you're probably one of the best streamers out. Well, I appreciate that, man. And like, obviously I'm just kind of reacting to other people's coverage. So like this guy is obviously he's doing all the work and I'm just kind of reacting to it. But I like reading your guys' comments because you're giving me like updates and whatnot, and I'm kind of looking into it to see if they're legit. But we're just chilling, we're just hanging out. You know, I'm just a guy with I'm just a YouTuber with the webcam. I'm not an expert or anything. I'm not a paid CNN analyst or anything crazy like that. I'm just a guy with the webcam. But I like reading your guys' chat and, you know, seeing what you guys have to think and all that. Let's check on the poll we got going real quick. So I asked you guys, is Iran-Israel ceasefire, is it going to last? 153 people have voted so far. 31% of you say yes, and 69% of you say no.
And there were 6 missiles total. In
Coverage, gaming, and politics. Yasette says CNN hire this guy.
4 in the second volley. I am seeing a video of the Beersheba area of some damage, but no live video.
Thank you, Donald. Appreciate that, man.
We may end up.
And guys, if you haven't, and if you want to really stay up to date with my content, click on the little notification bell. I don't know where it's located because you're probably watching this on your phone, but there's probably like a little drop-down menu somewhere. Just hit the bell and then hit get notifications. So every time I stream, you'll get an update. Because YouTube doesn't always put my my content on people's channels.
It is unclear to
But if you want to make sure you get it, you can hit the little bell. YouTube still doesn't always put my content on people's channels, even if they hit the bell, but you have a better chance. And if you really want to get my content, you can hit the join button and become a member on the channel. Then you should be able to see all my stuff. But, you know, if you guys can't afford it, don't worry about it. But yeah, multiple ways to stay up to date.
If we're going to take the President Trump count on it, would be
So
52 minutes from now.
So about an hour away, the ceasefire officially.
I can't guarantee it's going to start then, but
supposedly
that's the, I guess,
around an hour away from now.
Time.
So we'll see if at this point, I just think I feel like Iran's just wasting missiles. Maybe they're just trying to save face even further. They're like, oh well, you know, we're gonna do the ceasefire, but we're gonna keep launching rockets up until the very end, guys. Trying to make their like government look powerful and like they're standing up and all that. But I think they're just wasting their time. Maybe they're shooting off some old missiles or something. They're like, well, you know, if we agree to the ceasefire, we're probably not going to be able to shoot missiles for a while, so we got to get rid of these old ones because they're just taking up space. And they're probably going to blow up themselves if we don't get rid of them, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking, honestly. But I think Iran might use the ceasefire to their advantage. Yeah, they'll probably use it to regroup and whatnot. Because they are in a pretty weak state right now. Israel's pretty much...
I haven't seen an Israeli government
been hitting them nonstop. And obviously, the U.S. dropped those bombs on those nuclear facilities, so
51 minutes.
They haven't really had time to regroup. It's just been nonstop. But he put a countdown timer, so it's around 50 minutes away. They lied about their nuke program data the whole time. You think so? Adam Scott, welcome to the stream. Thank you for subscribing, Adam. My name is also Adam, so shout out.
More pre-alerts.
Oh, crap.
More
alerts, guys. More alerts.
Looks like more missiles might be coming. It looks like
more
boy. Missiles might be
Hopefully,
coming.
There's only a couple of them, and they'll get intercepted. I think the last little barrage they sent, I think one actually hit a 7-story building. I don't think anybody was killed or injured, but that still ain't good, right?
Stretch this out until right at the deadline. But I don't know, but we have more pre-alerts now.
G-Dog says, if Iran wasn't a threat, so many terrorist groups would be dead and the Middle East would be much more safe. So they pointed their cameras up again because they don't want Iran to be like watching the feed and be like, oh, well, we missed, but we got close. So that's why they point those cameras up to the skies. So if Iran is watching this live stream, they're not going to be like, oh, well, we just got to move a little bit to the right and we're going to hit something, you know? That's smart.
Are they going to just fire missiles every 10 minutes until the ceasefire?
Also, guys, we got 32 likes on this video. Thank you guys for smashing that like button. I think we had like 72 likes last night. That's like the highest amount of likes I've had in a while. And like 32,000 views. I think we gained around 150 subscribers last night. Adam says Iran can't win. Losing nuclear capability is for terror military proxies. F around and find out. We'll see.
I am waiting for the actual alerts.
Well, I think Iran definitely found out what the U.S. is willing to do if they don't cooperate. We ain't afraid to just go in there and drop bombs. Donald Hill says they're going to use the ceasefire to keep their civilian population under their thumb. I'm sure there's a lot of unrest in Iran right now. Yeah, and then you got the crown prince, the exiled crown prince, coming out on TV today saying, like, we want regime change. I'm going to do everything I can to get the process going. If you want to leave the military, come like join this conversation and we'll figure out a way to do this. So there's a lot of chaotic things going on in Iran right now. Like you got the crown prince trying to like get their leader out of power and telling their government like if you want to change sides, like now's the time type thing. So there's a lot going on. Plus the US is pressuring them. Israel hasn't stopped pressuring them.
Oh no, the IDF said there's missiles.
And they're already in a week and say, oh crap, more missiles coming.
Breaking news, the IDF said there are missiles coming. I just saw the post from 2 minutes ago from the IDF saying there are missiles on the way.
Yeah, definitely a lot of unrest here in Iran, though, for sure. Adam says, good stream. I'm not going to stay and argue with religious fascist apologies. It's all good, man. Like, you don't have to argue in the chat. You can always just hang out, watch. But it's up to you, man.
Yes, there are more. There are more.
I also do a lot of gaming content. So if you're a fan of video games and not necessarily politics, I play a lot of video games here on the channel. So there's a little bit for everybody.
Saw another pre-alert right now.
But I feel like this is kind of important, though.
Region? I don't know if they're adding one. Anyways, very soon expected to get alerts and have more missiles. I don't know if we will have them on our cameras. We'll just have to see.
More missiles, guys. Not good, not good. Let me put this in the sidebar real quick. And so, yeah, a bunch of the Battlefield games are on sale. Battlefield 1's only $2. Desert Tactical says they're now saying there's a pic of Iran moving the uranium out of the locations before the bombing. Yeah, I heard reports about that. I heard like there was like a convoy of trucks a couple days before we bombed them that were like supposedly taking the uranium out. But even if that's the case, it's going to take them a long time to rebuild so they can actually do anything with that uranium. Because like to have it, it's one thing, but like to
hold on a second, I have to change the headline.
To do what you have to do to get a nuke out of it, that's something else. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. And maybe, for all we know, maybe the U.S. allowed them to take it out so there wouldn't be like leaks or anything. Like, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I saw those pictures, Desert. Sue says, I saw the pictures from the overhead of Iran moving materials. Yeah, I saw that that convoy of trucks.
Yes, I didn't see an official Israeli.
Jet says, Iran felt the mop. They don't want to know what the Moab feels like next. Yeah. We didn't even use the Moab, right? We just used the bunker busters.
Now, I would assume we will be getting more.
Like, I don't believe we dropped the Moab. We dropped the mop,
third wave,
which is the bunker buster. But yeah, Moab is basically one step lower than a nuke.
This happened last night. Where
I believe Trump dropped that on some kind of ISIS base or something on his first term.
But Iran kept spacing them out, and it seems like they're doing something similar here.
They did warn them like a week in advance, yeah.
And extending the kind of.
So maybe the U.S. knew like they were going to try to get the material out of the bunkers, but that possibly maybe that's a good thing because like if they hit the bunkers when that material was in there, it could have caused, you know, obviously a lot of stuff leaking out, which could have been like a really big mess to clean up. So maybe they purposely gave them a heads up so they could get that stuff out. But at the same time, it's like you can't really do anything with that stuff, right? Unless you have the facilities and things in place to do that. Plus, Israel took out a lot of their head scientists and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it was all part of the plan. Maybe those trucks, because I'm assuming like if we saw the satellite images of the trucks, we knew where those trucks went, right? It's not like they showed up one day and then they just disappeared. Like, couldn't we just follow the satellite images to where those trucks went after?
Right now, I'm seeing alerts.
You know what I mean? Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not an expert on satellite.
Breaking news, Tel
okay.
Aviv area.
There's some more incoming stuff.
I'm going to get that clock off. Tel Aviv area, keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the Tel Aviv area. Put the Haifa camera down in the corner, but definitely alerts in the Tel Aviv area. We have our Tel Aviv camera up. Now the sirens come in. Also, some for southern Israel. Some for southern Israel as well.
Okay, sirens incoming, guys. Again, guys, if you want to check this guy out for yourself, I'm going to put his link to his channel in the description.
A bunch for Tel Aviv area. You should see it on this camera right here. A bunch for Tel Aviv area. and some for the south.
We'll see if those missiles actually show up, right? Hopefully, hopefully no missiles show up and it's just a false alarm, but best case scenario, it's only like a couple missiles like the last time, and they don't hit anything. Though I think one missile did hit like a 7-story complex, 7-story building. Who fired first on October 7th? Good point. Sue says, I don't think Iranians were given a warning pre-attack unless there was an information leak. This is World War III, unfortunately. I hope the U.S. doesn't get hit. Well, there's supposed to be a ceasefire in like about 45 minutes or something. That's when the ceasefire is supposed to start between Israel and Iran. We'll see if both sides hold up their end of the bargain.
A number in the area surrounding Tel Aviv. Nothing on our camera yet. Nothing on the camera yet.
Smash that thumbs up button, guys.
Maybe hearing some booms in the background, it's hard to say. Maybe some distant interceptions.
And also, guys, we're going to check in on the poll. Will Iran-Israel ceasefire last? 165 people have voted. 30% say yes, and 70% think it's not going to last. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I guess we're going to find out.
3 people have died in the missile attack, the missile that hit a building in Beersheba, Israel.
Okay, so there's been some reported casualties.
3 people are
That's not good.
From the Iranian
that was the previous missile attack.
Apartment building in Beersheba, Israel, a short time ago. Condolences to their families. Just heard that right now. 3 dead.
So that's not good.
Oh, I have a Jerusalem feed as well. All right.
Israel might just be like, F you guys. You just took out some civilians, so this ceasefire ain't going to happen now. They could say that. Obviously, that could happen. Jet says, yeah, Iran tends to break deals a lot.
All right, I am not seeing alerts on my map anymore.
Dude, why would you say their end of the bargain? The claim of ceasefire hasn't come from... Well, you know what I mean. It's like, I believe they said if one side stops attacking, the other side will stop attacking. I think that was kind of what the agreement was, more or less. I don't know if they're officially calling it a ceasefire like Trump's saying a ceasefire. So I don't know if they've officially called it that, but I believe like Israel said if they stop attacking, they'll stop attacking, vice versa. So we'll see if that actually happens. And then when the first 2 missiles went up, according to Trump's tweet, he said both sides called them up and they said they want peace. So I don't know why those missiles were shot. I don't know if that was a mistake, if that was like a rogue soldier doing. I feel like you have to have a lot of things in place to shoot even one missile, right? So I don't know. I don't know if Iran's just like pulling everybody's leg and just trolling people, saying, "Oh yeah, we agreed to it," and then Trump's like, "See, I solved the problem. I'm the peacemaker. Give me the peace prize." And then Iran's like, "Nah, sucks to be you. We changed our mind. Boom, you suck. Boom." So I don't know. It could just be them trolling. But I don't think the quote-unquote agreed upon ceasefire, or whatever you want to call it, has officially started. I think that's about like 40 minutes away. But
waiting to hear more here. But that's very.
But 3 people have died in Israel because of these missile attacks. So that's probably not going to sit very well with Israel. But it's like hopefully they don't counterattack.
Starting at the time President Trump said it's supposed to be in 38 minutes, and 3 people died in a missile attack by Iran.
It's crazy of how many nations were offering Iran nukes after the U.S. attacks.
Hour and 15 minutes before the ceasefire was.
You think they were actually being serious, though? Or do you think they were just like trying to stir up trouble? Trying to stir up trouble and like fake being supportive. So like maybe Iran's like, oh, well, these guys offered us nukes maybe, so maybe we don't attack them, or, you know, we stay out of their business in the future because they offered they offered an olive branch to us when we were in need. They didn't give us anything, but they offered, you know. Maybe that was their thought process behind it, or maybe they were actually serious and they're like, hey, you don't got a nuke because the U.S. just bombed your facilities? We'll give you a nuke. You know, I don't know. Russia isn't everyone, yeah. Makes me wonder if liberals will start rooting for Russia now. I don't even try to understand the way the left thinks. It makes my brain hurt. G-Dog says probably, yeah, they probably know Iran is crazy for nukes to be in their hands. Yeah. Iran is responding to Israel's preemptive attack. That's the story. No claims outside of MAGA were made of ceasefire.
We should have some video coming in on that, but it's going to be a little while on that.
Let me open up Twitter and let's see if anything is happening on Twitter. On X. Let's see if anything's happening on X.
Oh, from that last bunch of missiles, I am hearing that there may have been, let's see here. Daphne Lay says alarms in Samaria due to fear of interception fragments. I haven't heard of any hits from the latest batch.
I'm kind of looking for breaking news here on X. Trending. Let's look up the trending ceasefire thing. Latest.
Guys, I'm posting a video in the chat of the damage. I am posting a video in the chat of the damage in Beersheba.
G-Dog says because of Ukraine and Russia war, it makes Russia look not as scary, but the main thing is how much nukes they have. But it's mainly older and built by the Soviets.
Okay.
Pull up a second tab with Iranian news. Thanks for popping in, Donald. Have a good night, man. I don't know if anything's actually going to pop up.
34 minutes until the ceasefire is supposed to begin.
34 minutes before the ceasefire. Let me go to live. Would it be India TV maybe? India TV. Is this what we're talking about?
Your business with sustainability.
It's just a commercial. Okay. A 24 News English will give you current news updates on Israel. How you doing, Sue? Search Press TV.
Guys, I don't know why people in the chat are saying 8 dead. I am looking at many sources from Israel, and all of them are still saying that 3 are dead. These are updated sources.
I'm not seeing anything. Associate Press? No.
If I hear that, I'll let you know.
Let me just type in live news. Live news.
Updated sources from Israeli media, and everything has said 3 right now. So there might be sources I don't have. I'm just
ABC,
letting you know that everything I've seen says
India
3.
Today.
That stuff that came out in the last minute.
India Today.
Are you seeing 8 injured maybe?
Some of it might be censored. Because if it's Iranian news, it could be considered propaganda on YouTube. I don't know what they, you know what I mean? So they might have certain sensors up.
Put more pictures of, wow, this is really bad. More damage pictures. More damage pictures in the chat.
I-25 news.
I'm posting them right now. I just posted a link to more pictures of that damage. It's really
I'm not
bad.
seeing anything
It's
popping
really,
up.
really bad.
Capital
I
I.
do not see any pre-alerts at the moment.
Oh, wait. Give me a second. Capital I.
An N12 reporter does say fear of additional casualties.
It was I-24.
at the Beersa scene. So
Is it this?
3 dead right now. Oh, and by the way, in the latest missile volley, there were 3.
They don't have
missiles
any
Iran
live
launched
feeds
protected,
going.
according to N12's near Devori. We didn't see any on our camera, but there were 3 missiles in the latest volley. I need 1 minute here. I just need to take 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. At some point, we're supposed to get live video from the Beersheba location. But for the moment, I just need...
What about, let me go back to live now from Fox. Are they talking about anything related to Iran? Are they still doing their normal...
Give me 1 minute, I'm coming right back.
So Zelensky's talking.
З головкомом Олександром Сирським. Все має бути налаштовано системно.
Zelensky discusses Middle East conflict, Russian attacks.
Російські розвідники знищувались і знищувались максимально оперативно. Окремо говоритиму на тижні з партнерами щодо додаткового фінансування для виробництва дронів перехоплювачів, перехоплювачі дрони для передової, також дрони.
Okay, we'll go back over here. Let me see here. But it's supposed to happen in like half an hour or so, the ceasefire. What about Newsmax? What is Newsmax saying?
In these areas, what we note of significant targets in these areas they've been hitting in Tehran, the capital city, has been primarily IRGC and police headquarters, the apparatus where the regime draws its power from to be able to institute that autocratical rule across the country. So it did seem like today the Israelis were going heavy after trying to going heavy to hit the regime.
Here it says it's supposed to begin in 6 hours. This just might be a recap, though. This might be a replay of something that was aired earlier. Because I think the ceasefire is supposed to happen in like 30 minutes. Zelensky must be jealous of the attacks in the Middle East, of the attention the Middle East is receiving. Zelensky is happy that the U.S. hit Iran. Iran is tight with Russia.
Absolutely. All right, Zach, stay close. Obviously, we're still getting early reaction here. Still waiting for official reaction from the Israeli government as to whether they've signed off on this ceasefire, whether they think it's going to hold. We'll check in with you throughout the night. Thank you, Zach Anders. Coming up, your briefing on the threat to the homeland. The mainstream media is telling you we're on high alert because President Trump attacked Iran when, in fact, he was just dealing with a problem that others had ignored and what the media...
Okay, we'll go back here. So 3 people killed in Beersheba, Israel from that last Iranian missile strike. I guess that's when it hit the 7-story building. If you guys are watching live, feel free to drop some comments. Dean says 3 killed in Israel. Yeah. Yep. So I'm sure that's not going to sit very well with Netanyahu. But, I mean, if they don't make this ceasefire work, that could potentially mean more death and destruction, right? So...
Bears, I got that fire. Mark HNC, Matthew Kohai 3, Sarah and Papa Bear also...
If you're just watching, guys, consider hitting that subscribe button. If you are a subscriber, you can leave a comment down below. It's a subscriber chat. Subscriber-only chat is turned on. Judok says, Yemen said the U.S. vessels are not allowed to go through them since we attacked Iran. I did hear about that, I think, yesterday. They said, like, stay out of our waters or something like that.
sometimes the link.
Yes, it says look up CNN News 18.
I don't know why.
Okay, let me see here. CNN News 18.
So I'm sorry
CNN
for not working some of them, but
News
I can tell you it's the right
18.
link.
Let me go to that. Are they live right now? I think they're live. Wait, is this live? I think it might be.
As a matter of international law, it is completely permissible to act in self-defense. And when you see a gathering,
I'll subscribe to them. Give them a like. If you guys want to watch this stream for yourself without my commentary, there is the link in the chat. Thank you, Gisette, for the suggestion.
Palestinian Islamic Jihad, you name it, they back terrorism. So the idea that we would even consider allowing them to get a nuclear weapon, the idea that the Obama administration would allow them to enrich uranium in their own country, something we wouldn't even allow our own allies to do, is ridiculous. And the fact of the matter is,
you know, and I know that it was the United States that initiated.
I think this might be a little bit behind, though, because it's saying it's 5:11 a.m. in Tel Aviv, Israel, and this guy's live stream says it's 6:30 in Tel Aviv, Israel. So I think there may be this live stream's a little bit behind. Oh wait, maybe I need to.
Because United States and Israel say so.
No, it's still the same. But yeah.
Exchange between the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, and Margaret Brennan on Sunday, because she was asking him about what the intelligence really said about whether Iran was
It's basically CNN. Yeah.
pursuing a bomb. And just listen to this.
Nice. Well, thank you, Gisette. Appreciate that.
Follow up on a phrase you just
Most vessels haven't been using the
weaponization
waterways
ambitions.
for at least a year now. This
Are you
isn't
saying
anything new.
there that the United States did not see intelligence that the Supreme Leader had ordered weaponization?
Oh, I did see this earlier. Yeah, I saw this. This interview with Marco Rubio.
That's the key point in U.S. intelligence assessments. You know that.
No, it's not.
Yes, it was.
No, it's
that
not.
the political decision had not
I know
been
that better
made.
than you know that, and I know that that's not the case.
But
You don't
I'm
know-
asking
you
you
don't
whether
know
the
what you're
order
talking
was
about.
given.
And the people who say that, it doesn't matter if the order was given. They have everything they need to build nuclear weapons.
I mean, does it matter?
So
whether or not they actually were going to do this?
I think it does matter, very much so. And I would agree with Dr. West. As the world as it should be, we should not have nuclear weapons. I agree with you 100%. The world as it is, the President of the United States, I worked for an anti-war president, and I saw... No, he was. He ran against...
How many countries did you bomb the crap out of?
Well, that's what I'm going to say,
Lord
Scott.
have mercy.
But no, like you guys didn't just use bombs for diplomacy.
Would-
But
do you
just
want
to
to put
clear,
the scorecards up against each other?
I'm
between
happy
bombs
to put
and
up
drones?
scorecards.
You all are the key.
I got lots of scorecards.
The continuity that work in both parties.
They're fighting. It's a fight.
The drones killing innocent folk under Democrats and Republicans. You
But
agree
you
with
do
that?
because the American president's job is to keep the American people safe. And after 9/11, we have given them more and more power to make sure that they can do that. And it has been unilateral. I actually think it would be a very interesting idea for Congress to get involved in, or others, but they've kind of ceded their
President,
responsibility to the
Vice
hands
President
of
Vance says this is a very historic
So we are in this situation
moment.
because of design, because we've empowered them to do this.
Look, but we've seen
Big
what happens when you get
steps.
Congress involved. President Obama went to the podium in the White House, said, I've decided as Commander-in-Chief to strike Syria, to enforce the red line, and then, but I'm going to wait for Congress. And of course, what happened?
Nothing.
They did nothing.
No,
and what did President Obama do? He went up to Russia, made a deal with Russia, and more Syrian civilians died with the use of chemical weapons because we didn't enforce the red line. Everyone around the world saw that. They learned the lesson. America doesn't stand for what it says. Whatever you might think of President Trump, he stepped up, did what he said he was going to do.
Okay, let me go back to him because he's got more of a live feed going.
Fire clock for the moment because it'll get in the way of everything. We'll put it back up later.
Okay, I think maybe there's more missiles supposed to be incoming from what his little teleprompter thing says, his little doodad at the bottom.
We are waiting for the alerts. We are waiting for the alerts.
So potential new missiles incoming, guys. So we're just waiting on that. Hopefully it's like one missile, one little firework. And we're only like 20 minutes away or something. Like 22 minutes away, approximately, from when the ceasefire is supposed to happen. And how long does that last? Even if it does start, how long does it last? That's a real question, right?
It's 7 a.m. Israel time, which is in 23 minutes. So I'm going to assume that that's the ceasefire time. But we'll have to see what happens.
Or does Iran just, stop firing and then, make it so Israel maybe lets their guard down a little bit and then just launches a crap ton more missiles. Though, Israel has the Iron Dome, and I'm pretty sure Israel is going to be on high alert for probably the foreseeable future, right? So that probably wouldn't have that big of an effect.
I have not seen any...
Metal Man says, like I said, vessels have been avoiding it due to the Houthis for several months. It's not something new. You don't think Iran's going to listen to the ceasefire? Let's see what the chat has to say. So, will the Iran-Israel ceasefire last? I asked the question 2 hours ago. 177 people have voted on it. 31% say yes, and 69% say no. So the majority of people that have voted think this isn't going to last. But we'll see what happens.
All right, hold on.
I mean, it could last maybe for an hour, and then we wake up tomorrow and it's like everybody's back fighting again. I hope that's not the case, but I feel like if Iran's smart, they'll take this opportunity to regroup, because they haven't really, as far as I know, Israel hasn't really stopped, right? It's been kind of nonstop, more or less, for the past, week? 2 weeks, couple weeks now. It's been nonstop, 12 days. So if Iran's smart, maybe they'll be like, you know what, let's have a ceasefire. Let's regroup. Let's figure this out. What do we want to do next? If we stop shooting, they'll stop shooting type thing. Let's take this opportunity, get all our ducks in a row, and then decide what we want to do. If they're smart, they'll do that. I don't know why they would. I mean, I don't know what goes through Iran's head, but if I was them, I'd be like, yo, let's just take a minute, right? Let's catch our breath a little bit. Even if they're totally faking it, they'd be smart to take this opportunity to regroup. But we'll see. Iran says if Israel stops, they'll stop. We'll see what happens. I don't know if Israel stopped their their jets from flying in.
Right now, Tel Aviv area. For right now, at least, Tel Aviv and surrounding area, but that certainly could change. But that is what I'm seeing.
More alerts coming.
Is Tel Aviv area and
more alerts coming, guys.
So we'll
not good.
Keep an eye on that. I'm guessing you'll hear sirens very soon from the Tel Aviv cam, but that is the ones I'm seeing on my map here. Here we go. Here are the sirens.
Oh, buddy. Here we go again. Here we go again, guys.
A bunch, some in more north, some south of Haifa. We may see some stuff in Haifa cam too.
This is actually live. Yes. This is live, man. These are live feeds from Tel Aviv, Israel, Haifa, and Jerusalem. This is live. If you want to see this video yourself without my commentary from him directly, I'm going to post that in the chat if you want to check him out, subscribe to him. That's his link right there. But yes, this is a live feed happening right now. LB things and stuff. There's never a ceasefire. Trump lied. We'll see what happens. It's supposed to start within a couple, in 20 minutes or so.
We will see what we see.
Marku, how you doing, man?
I haven't seen anything yet.
Frederick Marku?
I have not seen.
Welcome to the stream, man. And thank you for subscribing, by the way. And Treeway, thank you for subscribing as well. If you guys are subscribers, you can drop comments because I have subscriber mode turned on. So if you want to drop a comment, just hit that subscribe button and let me know what you think about this whole situation. Do you think the ceasefire is going to last? Do you think they're just blowing smoke up Israel's butt? What do you think?
Nothing yet.
Do you think Israel's going to, you know, keep its word and not attack? Yeah, this guy's pretty good. I like this guy. This isn't like CNN, or he doesn't belong to any like news network. He's like just an independent journalist as far as I know. It's just him. LB says Iran already attacked U.S. base in Qatar, and I'd be meeting with Putin, their ally, right now.
More alerts?
Yeah, but Iran did give the U.S. a heads up though, and they only sent 7 missiles. And Trump didn't say we would retaliate. He called for peace.
There are currently some more alerts.
I feel like if Iran really wanted to do damage to the U.S., they wouldn't have given us a heads up, but I could be wrong.
Right there. That's the current ones. We didn't see anything on our cameras.
If you're just joining the stream, guys, welcome. We are watching the live feed from Israel right now. This is Agenda Free TV. I'm watching his live stream, so if you want to check him out, I'm going to post another link in the chat if you want to check him out and subscribe. That's the feed we're currently watching. We're kind of bouncing between him, CNN, some different news networks. But he seems to have the most current live feed. Everybody else is kind of just recapping things that have previously happened during the day, but he's got it on Israel right now, so we're kind of sticking with him. The Fourth Wall says, what part of Israel? This big picture right here is Tel Aviv. This little one down in the left corner is Haifa, and then the one on the right is Jerusalem. So there's 3 different feeds going from Israel right now. It was a theatrical attack. It wasn't meant to do anything. Yeah. G-Dog says, Iran would know what's going on at war with the U.S. is a horrible idea, but these drone and missile attacks on our bases make it questionable.
Let me see if I can find out what happened.
Is the USA still willing to protect Israel? I think so.
We did not see anything on our cameras.
Do me a favor, guys. Smash that like button. The more likes we get, the higher up we get in the YouTube algorithm. So hit that like button. Get us to the top so we can reach more people. We had 32,000 viewers pop in last night.
They might have gotten taken out earlier.
The night before it was like 25,000 viewers. The night before that was like 53,000 viewers. So consider subscribing if you haven't already. I also do a lot of gaming content on the channel. Primarily, this is a gaming channel, but I like to react to news and big events that are happening like this as well. So if you like gaming and kind of politics too, a little bit of both, a little bit of everything, consider subscribing.
In terms of the...
For sure, the Fourth Wall. I know it's probably really small.
That President Trump gave earlier, whether or not that's going to be it, I don't know. Hold on a second here. 14 minutes.
And yes, I will be live streaming tomorrow, man. I don't have to work tomorrow, so I will be live streaming tomorrow. I live stream every night basically, but yeah, I don't have to work, so I'll definitely be live streaming.
So MDA says that 3 people dead from the missile that hit, 3 people dead from the missile in Beersheba, 2 with moderate injuries who've been hospitalized.
So about 13 minutes away from the, I guess, official, quote-unquote official time that Trump said the ceasefire was supposed to start. Set, what game are you playing? You're playing Roblox? I've never played Roblox.
I've only had about 2 hours of sleep, so I'm sorry that I'm operating on a little bit low energy. But I had to get up to cover the Qatar stuff after we were live in the morning, early morning. So we're doing our best. We are doing our best.
This guy's only had 2 hours of sleep. MK says, "Am Israel? Huh? How you doing, MK?" First, only Congress can declare war. Trump needs to be impeached. I don't think Trump declared war. I think Trump declared that we were going to take out the facilities used to create nuclear bombs if they didn't wind down their nuclear program, and then we did.
But maybe there's been one somewhere.
I also don't think Trump needs permission to use the military because he is the commander-in-chief.
11 minutes. 11
Jay, how you doing,
minutes.
Jay? Trump let him enrich because Obama?
Started the ceasefire. 11 minutes.
It's like the defense sec said, we are not at war with Iran, we're at war with their nuclear facilities.
Originally, President Trump said...
Yeah, we went in there, we dropped bombs, we got out, and we haven't attacked them since. And even when they attacked us, when they counterattacked us, when they sent missiles toward our base in Qatar, we didn't retaliate.
And then, right around then, things kind of stopped. So it seemed like it had begun, because that's the time that the Iranian foreign minister proposed. But out of nowhere, about an hour ago, missiles started coming from Iran towards Israel. But the original post from Trump was 7 Eastern time.
So guys, subscriber mode is turned on. If you're a subscriber for a minute or longer, you can leave a comment. But if you want to leave a comment, consider subscribing. About 9 minutes away from the official ceasefire, supposedly. And then I guess anything after that, we'll see. I don't know if that's going to break the ceasefire or what.
9 minutes, supposedly, until the ceasefire.
He just literally said what I said.
Before then? 9 minutes until the ceasefire.
They were peaceful bombings. Peaceful bombings. Just like what's happening in California's peaceful protests, right? Peaceful bombings. They were peaceful missile strikes. It's not a thing.
N12 News reports. An N12 News reporter says, "Hold on, we have pre-alerts.
Ah, crap.
Missile pre-alerts again.
More alerts of missiles coming in, guys. More pre-alerts with like 8 minutes to go till the ceasefire is supposed to start. Oh, buddy.
Firing of missile before the ceasefire.
This
I
might
don't
be
know, but we have
I don't know if this is like their final attempt.
pre-alerts coming in.
Their last
Missile alerts
hurrah.
expected in the next few
Assuming they
minutes. So
respect
we've
the
had about,
ceasefire. We'll
what is
see.
this going to be, about 80 minutes or something total of just periodic missile firings.
We'll see. We're going to find out. I don't think Trump has posted anything since his last post. Let's go back to Twitter. I'm gonna check my Twitter and see if anything's came up.
Shortly, we'll be getting the alerts. I assume, and these missiles might even get there after the ceasefire is supposed to begin. Again, we are expecting more missiles momentarily.
How far behind is this stream? It's live. This is live. We're caught up.
With about 6 minutes, okay, hold on.
Where did you hear that Iran and Israel said no to the ceasefire? I believe Israel said like if you stop shooting, we'll stop shooting.
The IDF says Iranian missiles are incoming once again. Iranian missiles.
6 minutes till the ceasefire, and missiles are coming in still.
Happening again.
If you're just joining us, guys, the ceasefire is supposed to supposedly start in about 5 minutes. Iran's been hitting Israel with some missiles here and there. One got through, hit a 7-story building, killed 3 people. There's currently sirens going off in Israel right now.
Well, I'm not going to move things. I'm going to turn off the.
So they're expecting more incoming missiles. And yeah, we're like 5 minutes away from when Trump said the ceasefire, quote unquote ceasefire, was supposed to start. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, guys.
Hold on a second here.
Steve Rader says, and Iran Top News has said there is no ceasefire agreement. The Israel officials are not saying anything to journalists in Israel. He said Trump didn't declare war, but actions speak louder than words. Well, we also didn't retaliate after they hit our bases, right? After they hit the base from Qatar, we didn't retaliate, so
Till the ceasefire, but we are supposed to get missiles coming in at any moment now.
we haven't attacked them since them. Israel's been attacking, and they're our ally, but we have not attacked them directly since the bombers hit the facilities. So we'll see. We'll see. Four minutes away. If you're just tuning in, guys, welcome to the stream. This is a live feed from Israel.
Report from N12 saying a woman was injured in the northern Sharon area, likely from interception fragments. So it sounds like there was an injury in the Sharon.
And we are watching Agenda Free TV right now. This is his channel. I'm gonna post the link.
Okay.
I'm going to post his channel link in the chat again real quick. If you want to watch him without my commentary, go follow him, subscribe to him if you like his content. I'll post that in the chat real quick. He's had really good coverage so far, and he's got like 60,000 people watching him. So we've been kind of watching his feed, reacting to it.
Okay, are we seeing alerts? Yes, there are alerts. Look at the Haifa
More alerts
camera.
incoming, guys.
Keep an eye on the Haifa camera.
With 3 minutes to go.
I think we might be looking at the Haifa camera for this one. We have alerts right now. And
They point a
again,
lot
I
of these
have a
live cameras
feeling
up
from
at the
what I'm
sky
seeing, it's north
when the
of
missiles
Haifa,
hit,
and I
because I guess
feel
they don't
that
want
if you're gonna
Iran
see
watching the
something, I think
streams
it's
and
gonna
kind
be
of
on the
seeing
Haifa
like, hey, we missed, but
That's
let's
what I
go a
think.
little bit to the right
Not
because we
positive.
saw on the camera that, you know, so we're, you know, that's why they're pointing up toward the sky. And yeah, if you're watching, guys, drop a comment. All you got to do is subscribe, stick around for a minute, and then you'll be able to drop a comment. Or if you're just passing through, thanks for popping in.
I will make it bigger if something
Feel free to
happens.
vote on the poll we got going in the chat. I asked the question, will the Israel and Iran ceasefire last? 200 people have voted. 31 of you say yes, and 69% of you, 31% say yes, and 69% say no. The ceasefire is supposed to start in 2 minutes. And Iran is currently firing more missiles. All the way up to the last minute. We'll see if they ignore the ceasefire or just keep going. I feel like if they keep going, this ain't gonna be good.
It's gonna be on the Haifa cam.
We'll see what Trump has to say about it.
That's
But it's supposed to start in a couple minutes. They made it illegal 2 days ago to show where the rockets hit in Israel. Yeah, probably. I think there's also like maybe a 5-minute delay on these streams.
Also to the east, northeast, we don't have a camera in the northeast, but there's some alerts from the northeast too.
So we'll see if anything shows up on
Looks like that
these
now
feeds.
the alerts are more Sea of Galilee area, which I don't think we're going to pick up. Again, a lot of the alerts now have moved over to the northeast of Israel rather than Haifa, which is the northwest. So we might not see any of these on our cameras. A lot of the alerts ended up in the northeast of the country, not Haifa. So it's possible that we're just not going to see them on these 3 cameras.
I don't know how long the ceasefire. I think it's just like they agreed to. Well, supposedly they said if they stop fighting, we'll stop fighting. So I guess it just goes up until somebody decides to start fighting again. I don't know. I don't know exact terms of the agreement. Some people are saying like they didn't even agree to it,
You can see the clock there.
or they're not even calling it a ceasefire. Trump's calling it a ceasefire, but
So I don't know that we'll be having,
we'll see.
if we have
We'll
any
see.
more missiles, that'll be after ceasefire.
If you're just joining us, guys, welcome. Smash that like button. Consider subscribing. If you really want to help support the channel, you can hit the join button, become a channel member, get access to members-only chat, behind-the-scenes videos, stuff like that. You can't afford it, don't worry about it. Okay, we'll see what happens here.
Okay, the ceasefire.
Ceasefire is active.
Ceasefire, in theory, has just begun, but I don't know if that's the case.
Supposedly ceasefire's on with the missiles sirens in the background. In theory, yes.
Technically, the ceasefire should have just started.
G-Dog says we got people saying ceasefire and others saying no ceasefire. It's really confusing, yeah. And you got Trump saying there's a ceasefire. It's I don't know. Because I've heard reports from the Iranian government saying like they agreed to it, and then reports from Israel saying they agreed to it, but then other places saying, oh, that's a lie, that's fake news.
But we're at the time, 7 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Israel time.
Let's pop into let's refresh the CNN feed. Is anything popping up here? Or is it just kind of a replay of what previously happened?
Al Jazeera says ceasefire begins.
Weighing in on the president's
hang on,
announcement
let me change the
tonight, they're
headline.
denying that there is a formal ceasefire agreement.
See, they're
as he
denying it
says
there,
that,
but that was a little while
as of Now,
ago.
there is no agreement on any ceasefire or cessation of military operations. He says, quote, however, provided that the Israeli regime stops its illegal aggression against the Iranian people no later than 4 a.m. Tehran time, we have no intention to continue our response afterwards.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm saying technically because I don't know if it really is going to begin.
So basically, I think that was Israel, right? Let me see. That was. Let me scroll back a little bit.
Anderson Cooper is on the ground in Tel Aviv. And Anderson, I just want to read to you, as we've been watching to see and wait for formal responses from the Israelis and from the Iranians, the foreign minister of Iran is now weighing in on the president's
Foreign minister.
announcement.
So you said there's not, the foreign minister of Iran said there's not a ceasefire, but if Israel doesn't attack us anymore after 4 a.m. their time,
If I see more alerts, I'll let
we
you know.
won't attack them anymore. So they're not calling it a ceasefire, but they're like, hey, if you don't attack us anymore after this period, we won't attack you. We won't retaliate. So that's kind of like a ceasefire, right? But that moment happened like 2 minutes ago is when the deadline was, I guess. So if Israel, in theory, doesn't attack them with jets or anything anymore from this point forward, they're not going to reciprocate that attack. I don't know, guys. I don't know. The whole thing's confusing.
The last batch of missiles
So we'll see.
to the north were intercepted according to
It's like you stop hitting me, I'll stop hitting you type thing. But we're not going to call it a ceasefire. We're not going to call it
We
that.
are technically 3 minutes into the ceasefire. I don't know if it's going to last. I don't even know that we've had official confirmation from Israel about it.
Let's pause his stream. Let's get caught up here.
Hatred that leads toward the need for bombs, and then
I think they're just recapping. Let me open up YouTube again. Let me go to live now from Fox. ABC. Let me see here. Where's live now from Fox? Newsmax. We go to Newsmax, I guess. See what they're saying.
Torrential storm of 75 precision-guided Tomahawk missiles.
They're just talking about what happened earlier.
This was the largest B-2 operational strike in U.S. history.
So, like, it's a live stream, but it's just recapping what already happened today. Live news. Let's type in live news. Breaking live Trump. Let me see this.
Can't start that treatment for sometimes weeks, even longer. It's more frustrating than anything else in the process because at least that's something you do control.
Dr. Oz talks about breakthrough in health
in
insurance.
a physician's office with that kind of a crisis, and yet it's withheld. And
Let's go back to him.
Modo. Jenny.
If you guys are watching for the first time, drop those comments if you're a subscriber.
Andrew Eeks, Kelly Me, Spin City GJs.
Wait, Kalamani said live speech right now. He said no ceasefire. Where are you watching? Where are you seeing that, man? Where are you seeing that?
Thanks, Brian Beelman, for all the memberships as well. I really appreciate
Let
that.
me type this in.
Make sure you thank some.
That was a day ago. Is this live right now? That was on June 6th. I'm not seeing any live feeds from him.
مطلب آخر هم این که اخیراً
That the U.S. president has recently resorted to threat. Isn't this like an old video?
هم تهدید میکنه هم
I think this is like an old video.
سخیف و غیر قابل
Is that the live one?
Somebody if they give you a membership or a gift subscription. Missile about an hour before the ceasefire, and 3 people were killed. So we are supposed to get some video in soon from that scene any moment now, but I don't have it yet for you. I also have to keep an eye on the clock because we are at about 11 hours and 5 minutes on the stream. So when we get, I can't let it go to 12 hours or it'll disappear. So I might have to restart the YouTube stream. It's possible. Thank you also, Atlanta, Florida Girl. Thank you, and Usagi Akimbo.
If you guys are popping in for the first time, welcome to the stream. My name is Adam. I'm reacting to Agenda Free TV right now. He's got some live feeds going on Israel, the ceasefire, quote-unquote ceasefire, that we don't know if either party has agreed to yet. Trump said they agreed, but who knows at this point. The ceasefire is, I guess, active at the moment. Up until this point, Iran was shooting a handful of missiles toward Israel. Israel hasn't responded, I don't think. I guess Iran officials said, like, it's not a ceasefire, but if after this point in time, if they don't attack us, we won't retaliate. So I guess right now the ball's in Israel's court. If they don't attack Iran, supposedly, in theory, Iran's not going to attack them.
I mean, I know.
So that ceasefire started about 7 minutes ago. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if any more rockets come out.
Off on that and see. It was a little. I mean, I know what he wrote.
We might wake up in the morning and be like, "Oh yeah, they lied. They launched a crap ton more missiles."
That language as it seemed a little.
And I don't know if Israel is still like hitting targets with their jets and launching rockets at them, or I don't know if they've kind of backed off right now.
There have been times before when President Trump was talking about some sort of agreement or plan.
It's 7:37 in Tehran right now.
And he got into the details during a tweet, and it kind of was a bit confusing.
I don't see any. Let me check the. Let's check X right now and let's see if there's anything from Trump.
I don't want to draw my conclusions about this ceasefire from a close parsing of the language of his.
Trump
post.
said. Trump posted 20 minutes ago. We couldn't have made today's deal without the talent and courage of our great B-2 pilots and all those associated with the operation. In a certain and very ironic way, that perfect hit late in the evening brought everyone together and the deal was made. So that's what he posted 20 minutes ago. That was on his Truth Social. Breaking, Iran's state television has reportedly announced a ceasefire with Israel. That was posted an hour ago by Leading Report on Twitter. I'm not sure how accurate that is. Seeing some old posts here. I'm trying to refresh my feed. Donald Trump posted a couple minutes ago, peace through strength, and it's just a picture of him with a big peace, the word peace behind him. Breaking, northern Israel blanketed with missile alerts. That was posted 5 minutes ago. Let me go back to the live feed here. Don't see anything at the moment. Just kind of looking through my Twitter. An hour ago. Let me see here. Has Israel stopped attacks on Iran? I'm asking Twitter. It says, no, Israel has not stopped attacks on Iran. Recent reports indicate ongoing Israel attacks, including targeting military infrastructure in Iran, such as Kerman City. On June 23rd, the conflict escalates with Israel's initial strikes on June 13th, continue with both nations exchanging attacks. I don't know how much it updates, though. Eight minutes ago. Still looking here.
Stream is fine. Refresh if you had an issue.
Iran has its own time zone. Trump posted a couple seconds ago, fight, fight, fight. We're safe because we are brave. An American flag will never fall because American army will never, ever fail.
yet.
He posted a
You're
picture of
shooting, we're
that.
supposed to get it soon. Let me thank a couple people while I have the chance. A couple more people. Zupi, Ludo King, John Jack.
So we're going to pause that. Let's go back to CNN Live. Are they going to report?
She's not entitled to her own set of facts. And the fact is that President...
No, that's nothing. Yeah, to see. No, we were watching that one. Go back to YouTube and try to find some more news. Okay, so here's cameras from Israel. Just a bunch of different cameras, I think. Bunch of different cameras on Israel. I ain't seeing any missiles at the moment. I'm assuming that's live, but I'm not sure. Let me see here. ABC News, Newsmax. Just type in live news. Live now from Fox. Are they actually reporting on this? We'll be right back. They're on commercial break. Of course they are. Of course they're on commercial break. So I'm going to read you guys' comments, guys. If you guys have any comments, hit that subscribe button. Drop those. Actually, I'm gonna turn on a public chat,
NY Upstate.
so anybody can leave a comment.
Bennett and Lincoln. In my chemical-free life and not.
So anybody watching right now can post a comment if you have any.
Zachary Mullen.
If you have any input on what's going on, feel free to drop those comments down below. Also, consider subscribing. I do a lot of gaming content on the channel, play video games, let's plays, stuff like that. Kind of commentate over political happenings in the news, so on and so forth, like I'm doing now. Primarily a gaming channel, though, but this stuff is pretty important. So I've been trying to keep up to date with it. So yeah, I'll pretty much talk about anything in the chat, though. This is just kind of what's going on now. But yeah, primarily a gaming channel. So if you like video games and politics, consider subscribing. What's with the ceasefire in the first place? I think Iran knows its beat. And yeah, like why not the ceasefire? The sirens are still happening? Are there sirens right now?
Pre-alert, guys.
Ah, crap. Pre-alerts.
Pre-alert.
Ah, crap.
Another one. More missiles coming in.
Ah, come on, guys. More missiles. More missiles.
News, more
Can't we have a break?
Coming from Iran, even though we are past the ceasefire time.
Ceasefire's up,
More missiles
and Iran
coming
is still
from
shooting
Iran
missiles.
now.
Jessica, what time was the last attack? Maybe half an hour ago? It was before the ceasefire officially started. This is the first one since it started.
Missiles coming now.
We'll see if it pops up anywhere on here. Darian says, as long as Iran government still has breath, they will continue to fight. I mean, Trump ain't gonna be happy, though, because they attacked a military base of the U.S., the one in Qatar, and we didn't attack them back. Like, we dropped the bombs, they attacked the base. We're like, okay, guys, we're even now, right? Let's not fight anymore. Let's have peace. We're not gonna attack you. We got all your missiles. None of them hit their target. We detonated them. We used countermeasures. They're gone. But we're gonna let you guys say you did your job, right? You hit your whatever. Spin it however you want to spin it. We're not going to attack you. Let's have some peace. Trump could have been like, okay, you attacked us. We blocked it. And now we're just going to like wipe you out. But he didn't. He didn't say that. So Trump didn't say he wanted regime change the first time around. Now he's saying maybe he's open to it if they keep threatening our allies and America. And then they started talking about some ceasefire.
Are we getting the alerts? Are we getting the alerts?
But if Iran is just not going along with the ceasefire and continues to want to fight, maybe the U.S. gets involved again. I don't know. Or maybe we just give Israel permission to keep, doing what they're doing.
The north right now. So we'll see what happens here.
So I don't know what's going to happen, but
say maybe the Haifa camera.
This ain't good.
Maybe the Haifa camera.
But yeah, thank you, Dean, for letting me know that the sirens were going off. Steve says Iran might not have nukes, but they have hundreds of thousands of missiles. I don't know about hundreds of thousands. Like from what Google was saying, they had like 30,000 missiles, and then after all these attacks happened, it was like 15,000 missiles, and then the missile attacks on Israel started getting less and less. They were only launching like 20, barrages of 20 missiles, whereas before they were launching way more, and now they're like launching barrages of like 2 and 3 missiles. So I feel like maybe their weapon stockpile is slowly dwindling, because I don't know how fast they can manufacture these things, especially when Israel is just like bombarding them with air superiority and, attacking them. Like, do they have time to make missiles when all that stuff's happening? So I feel like they're probably running kind of low, unless, China just popped in the middle of the night and like dropped off a bunch of weapons. Some reports are saying like China flew in some planes and then flew back out. So I don't know if that's true or not. I got no clue, but I feel like they're probably starting to run kind of low, right? And reports are also saying that Israel took out like at least 50% of their missile launchers. That was like 4 days ago they said that. Let me know, guys. Are we still live right now? Okay, we're reconnected. I lost the feed for a second. I lost the feed. Give me 1 second. Our internet took a little bit of a hit.
It's possible they get shot down, early, before they even get close.
Are we like getting a cyber attack right now? What's going on?
No, the cameras are not frozen. The cameras are live.
It says I need to lower my
Now
bit
a bunch
rate.
of them popped up again. Haifa into the east.
Are we lagging like crazy right now, guys?
We lost our.
You might have to like maybe lower this quality.
Lost our Tel Aviv cam for the moment. I don't know what happened to that.
Let me exit that, exit this, exit this. Maybe that's taking up bandwidth. We still live though?
I am not seeing anything on this. I am not.
They have the Russian anti-air missiles. Search intel cams, another option. Okay, we're still live. Okay, it was saying I was having some issues. I'm still having issues. We might be lagging a little bit.
Where's that from?
We're fine? Okay, cool.
I think that's from the Haifa camp.
I'm still having some issues on my end with OBS. Let me exit Steam as well. Okay, cool. EMP, yeah, they're like, yo, we're hacking everybody.
This is Haifa, not Tel Aviv.
We're hacking everyone.
This Haifa cam, the Reuters cam, is posted in, it points to the sky because the government has told them you need to point it to the sky and focus on the sky when the alerts happen.
Okay, so the sirens are going off. And we might not see these missiles on the camera because there's only so many cameras that they have going right now. Kem says wars over Iran caves and agreed to peace. Yeah, they agreed to peace, and the ceasefire was supposed to start 21 minutes ago, but now we're getting alerts of them shooting more rockets. So it doesn't necessarily mean that's not a good thing, right? If they say we're going to stop fighting and then they keep shooting rockets after the ceasefire. But how you doing, Kim? Welcome to the stream, man.
So I'll fix everything in a second. Just give me a second. I know it says live coverage is expected and all that, so I'll fix that for you.
But yeah, I don't know why my internet's having issues. I have T-Mobile internet, guys. I need to upgrade my internet, but if you guys want to help me get faster internet, better internet, you can hit the join button and become a channel member or send some super chats. If you can't afford it, don't worry about it, But yeah, glad you're here. Glad you're watching regardless. Subscriber, not a subscriber. I'm just glad you're here. But we are well on our way to 7,000 subscribers. We've gained like 500, 400, 450 subscribers in the past 2 days. My stream's still bad. Yeah, it's probably lagging a whole lot. I don't know why it's doing that. It's got to be my internet.
Tel Aviv. Right. So let me fix this now.
It's got to be my internet. Is it still looking bad? Yeah, it says we're dropping a crap ton of frames. I might have to restart the stream, guys. Okay, guys, I'm gonna stop the stream. I'm gonna restart it. I will be right back. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss when I come back. Hit the like button. Just keep refreshing it, and I will be back in a second. I got to. Internet's glitching everywhere last hour. Yeah, I don't. Maybe they're hitting notes with like EMP or something. I don't know. But let me restart, guys, and I'll be back in a second. So subscribe if you haven't. I'll be right back.